Okay, what is up, everybody? We are back, man, with some more Etheria Restart. Hope you guys are doing pretty all right today, man. Today's been kind of busy today. How did times two go for you guys? I think it went pretty okay for me. I'm not gonna lie, it went pretty okay. But today's stream, we're just gonna be checking in real quick. Probably stream for a couple hours today because I actually got some more YouTube and stuff outside of my own channel to do today. But yeah, nonetheless, man, we are streaming on Twitch, YouTube. Make sure you guys like the stream. I would appreciate that. Get more peeps in here. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else to announce? 2 days away. Was it 2? Yeah, 3 days away from, Persona, Silver and Blood. So we're going to be playing those in a little bit. But either way, man, let's see what's going on with the chat. Yo, what's up, G? How you doing, fam? What's good, Hellsworth? How you doing, fam? What's good, Maverick? He said, I need some lattice. About to go rob Robin Farm. Yeah. All right, wait, some lettuce? Wait, do you need lattice or lettuce? Which one do you need? You said, I think the 2 times event broke me. 80 plus pots are insane. Oh, yeah. Now do you guys see why the dev said we're not just going to give you guys more stock? I was dying. Dude, I didn't even finish all my pots. I tried. I spent a lot of them. I finished the rest of them today, but I did like the 60 something pots I had. I literally was like 13. I still had like 13 left at the end of the times too. I fell asleep farming. I kid you guys not. Like I like transitioned from my PC to my bed and fell asleep. Like I was watching TV with Miss Zox and I kept hitting the restart button on what I was farming and it was over, bro. it was over, dog. It was over. Yo, what's up, Ryan? You said, hey man, it said 2 times jump was really important for me. So I finally farmed enough to progress on my account, and just after the X2, so I got shout out Sania. Hey, listen, that's all right because okay. So here's the thing, right? It was something I'm probably gonna make a video on this because I talked to you guys about a lot of stuff, but I don't really like voice my opinions on things too much, like just generally on my videos. But I think there is something that like I think is like really important to like speak on, which is the fact of the matter, which if we're being honest, I realize that I feel like a lot of players are like kind of making the mistake of trying to farm everything at the highest potential. When in reality, like even when I like made my team for my Doki Doki, I wasn't farming Inferno. I was farming like Hell 2-3 around that ballpark. And that got me the gear to be able to do what I was trying to do for my Inferno team, for my my Doki Doki. But when I was like thinking about like other games that are similar to this, like a lot of the times you don't build teams for everything, right? So like that's the thing that I was like kind of looking at. It's like, okay, like you kind of sort of like, yeah, sure, you might have a team kind of going, but like you usually like kind of build up that one team for that one respective dungeon you're trying to do. You get that team going and you might farm that for a little bit and then you go to the next dungeon. It's kind of like even like E7 was like that. Like you were always wyvern farming. Like you started it, like it didn't matter what you were doing. You were going wyvern farm and then you might go and get like a few sets for a couple of characters from Golem or something like that. But you weren't like shifted into everything. Like, I mean, maybe now you can get that done because of where the game is at now. But early days E7, it was like you were wyvern farming. That's where you lived. So everything else kind of like, it was like, if you got it, you got it. But they also like kind of infrastructed the game to where that wasn't like your primary sets that you needed to really emphasize unless it was on like a couple of characters. So I kind of noticed that to be the case too with this game. It's like you're going to have some units that can, slot into multiple slots. But for the most part, the reason why there's such this like uneven spread is because everyone is trying to build all 3 teams. And all 3 teams either have a very specific gimmick that you're countering or that you have to work against, right? Like Doki Doki is probably the easiest out of the 3. But Doki Doki is like still emphasizing like, really, it's really like if you don't have the speed, you have to take the damage, which most people won't. A few people will, but most people don't have the speed. So they're not one-shotting it, even if they have the Ramoka. So that was like, even for my team, like I had to figure that out. I was like, okay, like I don't have speed. I don't have any character with plus 163 on them. But it's like Is it really impossible to do? No. There's like every set in this game, maybe outside of a couple, but even then, I don't even think that's true. Every set in this game is not only viable in PvP, but they're also extremely viable in PvE. Like, one of the like craziest things about my run for my Doki Doki Inferno, the thing that was cooking me the most was the attack break. Like that was literally the thing that cooked me the most in that. And as soon as I thought about it, I was like, okay, I have two options here. I can either build Kachi the guard, and I can like put a unit there that gives me immunity, like Kachi the guard, or I can have a character on my team that dispels the attack break before she goes, or I could do something super easy and I could just give her bulwark. And this is what I was like trying to tell people before too, is that you can still have a DPS build and then be on a support set. And I think people don't read those things. Like, it literally says every single wave you get immunity in the beginning. So that's like mitigating turn meter pushback, which you get hit with in the second wave. So that mitigates that. That mitigates stuns. That mitigates that mitigates like speed down. That mitigates attack down. Just that one set. And now I have a consistent Doki Doki Inferno clear. It's probably like 7 out of 10 though. But still, I can do it way more consistently than I was able to the first time I did it. It was just changing one thing. And so then Strive set, it's like, okay, well, if I'm gonna get hit anyway, might as well eat that damage and then give myself a turn meter push. Like, it's like little things like that. And so it's like the game, I think, like, one is a huge part of it is people just haven't figured stuff out yet. But did any of you guys see the Hoyan strat that's now doing, like, that's like going and clapping Terra Matan now? There's now a Hoyan strat that's being used, which I didn't know if she could even still one shot, and I was like not too sure if I wanted to throw Lattice into her, but Hoyan can do it now. Like, she can still do it. And that's what I was telling you guys before. She was always the character that was one-shotting Terra Matan. So it's like, hey, the fact that she can do it still is kind of crazy because they took away the defense ignore, but hey, I'll take it. You said people casually having 300 to 400 speed. So I call BS. That's not casual at all. Yeah, that's not casual at all. You said she just needs skill ups, so that's all. Bro, she doesn't even need max skill ups, which is the crazier part. You literally just need to get her, you just need the first 3, right? Like, that's the thing. You literally just need the first 3 for her setup. It's only, yeah, you don't even need the cooldown. You literally just need the first 3 for the damage boost. So it's like, it's crazy. He said, but isn't the RNG on the arm targets you? Yes, but actually no. The arm's supposed to target you according to who has the lowest HP, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, I'll go in there right now because yeah, that left arm is supposed to target the person with the lowest HP. So that's how it's supposed to work. I think there are a couple of things in this game that's a little bugged, if I'm being honest. Like the same thing with like the ting marking. Like you can still like, what is it? It was something that the ting marking was doing. Oh, the follow-up hit, like that still happens, right? But you're not hitting the marked target. So like, you know, like that's that. So there's that, you know. You said just need skill ups. You said I got into the EWS, so they're gonna need you to coach me like your YouTube vids for Path to Nowhere. Oh God, dude, hell no, I can't coach you for that. They're gonna ban you, bro. They're gonna ban you. They're gonna ban you for that. You said I meant Lattice. So I burned 30 pots. I'm not satisfied. You said Hoyan is one-shotting bosses. Yeah, her and Dating. Her and Dating paired up together are doing it. You said not first strike. No, it should be I think it's the lowest HP, period. But again, I don't know if it's like bugged or not, because again, there's some things that are definitely still bugged in this game. You said, why Aurora no drop any crit damage momentum? I mean, I'm be honest, it's just luck. Like, really, it's really luck. Like, dude, like, and I mean, I I'm not even gonna sit here and like gaslight you and be like, yo, the drops are amazing. It's just you, like, cause it's not. Like, I got into Inferno and I have not gotten a Swift Raid piece to drop yet. So like, it's not all hyped up. Like, you get in there and it ain't ain't nothing there to drop, you know. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's that. What's up, Kragon? You said how was Hoyan one-shotting? So I pulled her and was disappointed. What's the setup she's in? It's Dinah, it's Hoyan Dating. Who else is in that comp? I think Freya. I think Freya's in that comp. I'm still baffled on the skip Freya thing, yo. Yo, she's arguably one of the strongest characters in the damn game supports, bro. Like, I don't even know. And the gear requirement is even that crazy. Like, that's the other thing. Is that, yeah, Inferno's overrated, drop rate sucks, and you're probably still only getting 2 Matrix. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, these are things I already sent over to the devs, but cool thing. Yo, Gummy, appreciate you for the sub, bro. Appreciate that, fam. Yeah, these are things that I sent to the devs. I got a confirmation from one of the other devs that they're actually taking a lot of the information that we sent to them and they're actually reviewing it in their meeting. I think they're having today. So we shall see like what they end up saying. Like, even what I told them was like, hey, if you don't implement these things right away, because I get things do take time. Hey, if you could at least come up with like, I don't know, kind of like a what is it called, what is it, roadmap of like some of the stuff that you might be willing to try to implement into the game. I think that would be cool too. So let's see. So yeah, that's kind of like the thing with that too. It's like, welcome to Endgame, the slot machine, bro. You know what's, yo, see, this is the thing though. I don't even think people realize that gear is even the worst thing. Not even close. You know what the worst thing is in the game? It's actually and this is something that I was like, yo, I'm gonna have to like and I said it in my video. I'm gonna have to dedicate my farm this whole week is gonna be nothing but, I'm doing nothing but shells. Like, that's it. Like, bro, have you tried rolling passives on that? Have you tried? Bro, I'll tell you right now. You got like, and when I said a lot, I was probably like, I was kind of sugarcoating it a little bit. But yo, I dropped just for me to get this 126% roll, bro. This 126% roll. Guess how much I spent? Just guess. Just guess the number. Just guess. Guess the number, bro. Just for one slot. Just one slot. Like, bro, 1 mil, not even close. Not even close. Nope. No, it's not even 3 mil. Nope. Nope. Not even close. Nope. It's okay now. Bro, I spent 4.5 million to roll this one stat. 4.5, bro. 4.5. 4.5. Now, I want you guys to understand how much per day you can actually farm, right? If you do 1,000 stamina, right? That's 1.2 million that you can farm, like roughly, right? You're somewhere around that ballpark, maybe 1.2, 1.4. Bro, I did 4.5 million to get this to just be a mythic. Now, you know what it did give me though? It did give me defense mythic, like 4 or 5 times in a row. I did get that. I did get it. So it's not that it doesn't roll mythic. It's just not gonna roll the mythic you want. So I can't even say that it was like, oh, it didn't roll mythic, because it did. It did roll it, but it gave me everything but the stat I was looking for. So I think that that's the thing. It's RNG, so I can't be mad, because then there's other pieces where I've rolled and it's like, okay, cool, I'm out of here, right? But that 4.5 mil, yeah, it happened. It's the grind, right? It says it should make it so you can't roll lower rarity passes, so each roll is the same tier or higher. I think personally, the minimum should be purple. because I get the RNG window. I get it. I get the RNG window. It's an RNG game. I get it, right? But I just don't think I should be rolling blue. This is just weird to me. Like rolling blue passives is just weird at this point. Like minimum purple. Like I don't think you should be even rolling blue at all. Like it just like it does nothing for you at this point. Like no blue value really does anything. The only way I would argue this though, and I guess the counter argument, because I always have to play devil's advocate with myself, is if you're trying to slow something down, rolling a blue is not necessarily the worst thing, because that can actually help, right? So there's like things like that. It's very situational. So it could be argued as well to keep it. But I just feel like it's a thing. Like it's a thing, man. It's a thing. You said, I feel like you shouldn't be able to roll lower rarity or lower value. Like there's enough of a pool to where it still be a sink. Yeah. You said, bro, this heat wave is getting to me. Yo, where you at, bro? What heat wave? What heat wave you experiencing? I mean, it's like 90 something degrees where I'm at right now, but you said, whenever I roll, it just gives me flat defense over and over, and it's the same exact stat number. Yo, yeah, Christ. Yeah, I mean, but it's the grind though, all right? And I mean, we're still, what is it? We're going on 3 weeks. So again, it's like, yeah, I say this, right? But it's like, again, I also understand that like this early, it should come over time. Like my average should even out, but yeah, it's that, man. You know, it said the thing you need for your it said the thing is you need that for your characters to do something. Pets faster is so much or as much as a 5x roll in the module. Oh yeah, I agree, right? Because to be honest, that's what I was like telling people, is just like, even like with the damage I'm getting from my Remoka, that's what I was saying, was like you can supplement damage 3 ways. You can either roll it on the gear and get a perfect roll, you can roll it on the passive, or you have to level up the skill node. And that's just so that you can hit your bare minimums. Because in reality, like even like in Hell, your minimum attack can be like 1.6 with count, which brings you up to like you end up at like, was that 3.8k when count goes off. But when you go into Inferno, your minimum needs to be around like 2.2 to 2.3k, because that like the damage ceiling kind of changes at that point, or how much damage you need changes. So and now I'm sitting at like 4.2k when I proc my count. So it's like that damage, like damage goes up with the difficulty too. So it's like, all right, well, you like now are at that point, which respectively so, like in Inferno, that's end game. So you should have maxed out rolls, or you should be as close to having those rolls and stuff like that. More investment in certain skills, things of that nature. But I think that's kind of the thing, like from at least from what I'm finding, like, yes, there's some people getting Swift Raid, but it's not coming fast, to be real. Like you're better off putting more stamina and time into fine tuning at Hell 4 on all the difficulties. And then when you're comfortable, you can go up into the next difficulty with like, more certainty, having more skill up investment, having more, having a lot more. And so far we've been able to kind of like disprove the whole, like, you got to have this. Like my video alone disproves the fact that you need a LD for that fight. That fight is completely RGB. And people will argue that, well, oh, you got Remoka. Well, I mean, I used my selector for her. I didn't summon her. I haven't summoned her. I just waited to use my selector for her based off of what I got. And that's kind of everybody's account. Like some people like went for other choices that made more sense, and they're clearing other stuff further than me. So I think like when it comes to RGBs, it's kind of hard to argue that, because in reality, RGBs are more accessible than LDs. LDs are like, if you get them, you get them. If you don't, you don't. And so with the RGBs, it's like, even with those setups, there's so many variations. You have the Remoka strat that can be slow, which I showed, right? It doesn't have to be a speed clear Mio running it at 163 plus 163, putting her at about like almost 300 speed. So it doesn't need to be that setup. And the other thing is too, is Mio's usually maxed out. Like she'll be like 5 out of 5 for those, for those runs. So there's a way to do it without having that. Then you have team comps that are consistent of like Rahu, Ling Lao, Gray, Valerian, Kazio. There's literally Inferno teams right now that are doing it with those units, right? Like there's like a whole bunch of different variations. You have the Shiata set up. So that's like, so it's like, I don't know, man. I just think it's been a matter of like kind of figuring it out versus like the game's just inherently pay to win. And if you don't have that, then you just don't do it. I think the other problem is too, is I have to invest in every single character and have lattice in them right away. I just think like, again, even for me, like when it came to my hyperlink charter, there was like a point at which I just kind of stopped because I still needed to build up my team. So I wasn't going and like clearing everything else like I really wanted to. I had points which people would ask me like, what's going on with your Aurora team? I'm like, bro, I'm still on Nightmare. I'm still trying to build my I'm still trying to build my other team. I can't worry about all 3 difficulties when I'm barely doing the first one that I'm trying to focus on. So I think like it's kind of like the resources being spread too much. He says Zox is like E7 hunts, can use many different teams for the same result. Yeah, no, it is. But you play E7 from launch. So you know how it is when it comes down, like it came down to how E7's progression was. Like you weren't doing all 3 dungeons right away. It was one dungeon, you focused that one, and it made it progressively easier to jump into the other ones. And you slowly but surely were able to climb them. And so that's kind of the name of the game here. And even like for my build, it's crazy because the gear people are trying to get from Inferno 3, they don't even need that gear yet. They need the gear from like Hell 3 and Hell 4. So if you get to Hell 3, Hell 4, you're gonna start getting pieces like even like for what I did, I got to Aurora 3, right? That's how I got my bulwark pieces. I didn't get those from Hell 4 because I like couldn't even do Hell 4 yet. I still can't do Hell 4 yet. I haven't tweaked my team for it yet. So I was like, you know what? I can still get 3 Matrix bulwark pieces. I know there's probably a high probability I'm gonna get left side anyway. So that's what I did. I put stamina in there during the times 2. I got the 2 bulwark, 3 Matrix bonus pieces that I needed, and then I changed the pet, and that instantly gave me a whole set. That literally gave me a whole set. And it was because I wasn't trying to push the highest one. I did the one that I could do the most efficiently. And that was it. So you said, what's the best pet for Dating? Dating White Fang is like, from what I've found, is like the one that works like the best on him. Like just across the board for most things you slot him into. I've tried him on like Count. Count's all right. Count can work in some scenarios. It also depends on how fast the run is. One of the things you lose though, if you're not doing a specific build is like if you're going Count, for example, on him, you lose the extra 2 hits. So you would have to be building him into specifically hitting into something like it would have to be a momentum. So he's trying to hit and nukes into debuffs really hard. But generally, like having him on like a Keen Eye is really good on White Fang. That's damage is just super consistent because the thing is that with momentum is a lot better when you're trying to do things really fast, or you can upkeep debuffs, because if debuffs aren't there, then the set dies, right? Or if there's not enough, then you don't get as much damage scaling. So it can fluctuate the damage output that you're giving. So it just, again, it depends on the scenario and what you're doing. And I would say for a lot of content, like if you're not using something to manipulate him to do something quick, you want something that's going to be consistent. So White Fang is just very, very consistent, to be honest. It's like year 1 was brutal, so that's why I'm focusing Doki Doki for the first speeds for the speeds for now. Yeah, I mean honestly, it's the easiest one to do, and it is going to enable the rest of your clears too. He said, I mean, there's definitely a caveat to E7 year 1 where some really rough shit happened with the first iteration automaton tower. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. You said for me, I think they released Inferno too early. That's why a lot of people are so concerned with endgame. They're forgetting that they need to farm Hell first before going into Inferno. No, Quick Fox, you're right. Right? I mean, to be honest, I definitely think that blame does go to the devs, right? I think for sure, because I think like when you really think about it, it's like it should be locked. I just think it's typical gotcha gamer, like I don't know, call it dysmorphia, but it's like gotcha gamer just way of thinking. Like the highest you see is where you think you should be, right? So it's like a lot of players are just like, no, I gotta be at Inferno. Like if I'm not at Inferno, then the game is pay to win. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, and if you notice, every time something gets said, like, oh, you can only do this content with this character, just literally some dude in Asia or one of us figure it out. And it's like, no, it's not. And now people are like, oh, wow, I didn't realize I could do that. I have those characters. I have Viper. I have Yang. I have, like, it's like, so it's just a matter of, I would be real. I'm going to be 100% real with you guys. Guess how many hours it took me to figure out how to get my team to operate with me not having the proper speed. What like it was like, okay, figuring out what the problem was, farming the gear for the problem, and then testing it all over again. Just a rough ballpark. How many hours do you think that took me to actually sit there? And I just sat there just farming it. Like just try, and not even just farming it. Theory crafting. That's what I was doing. And theory crafting is like a part of these games, if we're being honest. Like that's kind of the whole like premise of these types of games is theory crafting. The guys that come up with different strategies or different ways of approaching things, they're the guys that will sit there for hours. You said 10 minutes? Oh, I wish. Dude, it took me hours. Like I would say probably like 5-6 hours just to figure out the right tuning. How can I get the strive set when I do get hit? If this character gets targeted, who moves instead? Like there's so many different anomalies I was like kind of trying to tinker. So it's like you have to sit there and you have to do the work. So I think some people are trying to just push out videos versus I'm going to sit here for the next 6 hours or maybe even 12 hours if it takes me. And I'm going to make this team work or figure out what it is required to make this team work. So that's what I did. I was even like minute tweaks. Okay, let me add an extra 100 attack. Let me try this piece instead of attack piece. Let me put a crit piece. Let me go crit damage. What feels more, like what's better? Like, is it the crit damage piece or should I try going for trying to crit more often? Like, so it's like that's the part of it that's required for these types of games. Like, and the thing is that then after somebody does it, it makes it easier for others to just kind of like replicate it, etc. Right? But somebody has to figure out and do the legwork first. So the guy, I think that was in Asia, did the whole thing with the whole Yan first, right? That's kind of how that went. Yo, what's good, Tragic? How you doing, fam? What's good, Icebound? You said, but what happens when they're farming Inferno, not for a month? And by the way, and by second, maybe third month, they're complaining of boredom. Bojack, I'm gonna be real. That's their problem. I'm gonna be 100% real. To be honest, if like, here's the thing, right? And it's just a commonly, like, I just commonly speak on this anyway. If you choose to rush the game and then complain there's no content, that's on you. That is not on the rest of the players. Like, because that's now you choosing, right, to rush or expedite your process, whether it's spending money or you're trying to go for all the meta stuff so you can just blast through everything. That's not the game's fault, right? That's a choice. Now, again, if you're looking at the overall player base and there's still a ton of people that still ain't there, like most people I see on average is they're like, dude, I'm still not able to clear Hell 1 or 2 yet. That's what I'm kind of getting on average, right? So that tells me a little bit about where players are at on average, right? Like, okay, they're probably all relatively around here, which means they're probably here on their hyperlink charter as well, because they probably didn't do Kururu yet. And then after Kururu is Rahu, right? So like, I'm like just thinking of those things. If you're already done with Tower, if you're already done with Ethernet Rally, if you're already if you're done with those things, yeah, that's not the game's fault. Because the game definitely does have the content. It does. But if you expedite your process or you're trying to do things faster so you can be done with it, but then to complain that there's no content, I mean, at some point, the game's going to run out of content for the given update that we have. And then another update comes, they add more content. If you go and you blast that, you're going to run into the same problem every time. So this is why I always say that you got to play games because you like them. And then really the real end game is going to end up more than likely being PvP because you can do it infinitely, right? So that's kind of the thing. And the thing is that it's like also normalizing what the expectation is. If you're not clearing Inferno, that's okay. The dudes clearing Inferno ain't getting good drops no way. Like, so it's like the idea is like, it's like pushing this idea that you got to be here. And if you guys even notice what we were pushing, like what I was pushing, what Sign was pushing, wasn't to speed rush the game. It was to unlock all of the content that you needed so that you could have things to do that did not require stamina. Never once did we say you got to be doing Inferno. Not once did we ever say you should have endgame on Smash by week 2 or week 3. It was always with the premise of what's going to get you content unlocked, so you have everything like at your disposal for where you would be at that respective point, so you could be collecting more stamina, so you could be in the rotation before things reset and you're getting those rewards and stuff like that. So that was the whole point of that. It wasn't to be doing Inferno. It's like where now players are like, I got to step back, and now people are doubling back because they got to go back and farm, you know. Hey, what's up, Risa? You said I haven't cleared Hell 1 or Whitney Nightmare. I played since launch. Listen, if you need help, let me know, right? Listen, I got you, because I don't know what you have on your account. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, a lot of it is just like figuring out what it is that works on your account and then just kind of putting the pieces together. But, excuse me. But the biggest thing is definitely shells. And you're at that point where if you're doing, is it Whitney? No, I think it's after Whitney. I think Sharon's like the first big one. Oh no, not Sharon, sorry, Phoebian. Phoebian is the first big one. And then the next real big one is Nico Nara. It says there's infinite content farming gear in RTA. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's gonna take you forever. You said gotta farm a lot of shell. Got a lot of shells to farm. Yeah. No, seriously. Man, my farm is just about to be dumb. Like I still got to roll passives. So yeah, I mean, there's so much to still do, man. There's so much to still do. It's a serious question. What skills should I prioritize? You say you skill up Born. Let's see. I mean, Born is just a weird unit right now, but Born, for the most part, I think it's his passive first, if I'm not mistaken, because that scales his bulk. I just really think it depends on how you're using the character. But his passive actually scales his can scale his bulk and how much damage ratio you get from his max HP. The skill 3 though is going to increase your chance of dispelling debuff. So it just depends on like what you're really doing with him. If you're trying to do more damage with him, I mean, both kind of affect his damage if we're being honest, right? Because each attack, right, for example, it ends up taking your ratio up for your HP here, but then you also get the additional damage dealt off of his current HP ratio increased here, which does affect his damage. The biggest thing is though, is the multiplier is going to be in his skill 3 though, right? So you get the 480 on the skill 2 or level 2. Then from there, you have an increase in the multiplier of damage boost to 100%. And then you have the dispel chance. So if you're just looking for raw damage, then it would be these first two. And then the dispel chance would be the level 4. So I'd say you could technically split it between, I mean, honestly, you can't really split it. I mean, because this affects his bulk more than anything. So this is excess damage in bulk. This one affects the main like chunk of damage and then the dispel chance. So I kind of would say with Born, like to really scale him properly, you kind of need to do you honestly kind of need to really just do his passive and then like up to at least level 3 on his skill 3, I would say. Because then the other thing here is like he's at a 4-turn cooldown on his skill 3. Him being able to have that on a 3-turn is kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie. There's not a lot of SSRs that have 3-turn cooldown anything. So the fact he can get this to a 3-turn cooldown, I would still shoot this all the way. But the other thing is too is the stipulation. So it's like if there's 4 or more, or if there are more than 4 surviving enemy units, Born deals 480% damage to all enemies with 100% chance to dispel from the target. And for every one enemy unit defeated, Born launches an extra attack, dealing an extra 100 damage. So it just depends on the setups, right? But yeah, those would be what I would advise, because to be fair, like his skill 1 can hit pretty hard as well, and the sustain he gets, like his self recovery from his skill 1's kind of ridiculous. I'm gonna be honest. Like you give him like if you put him on count, and then like if you get to the point where you're able to invest his skill 1, this man can heal himself a lot. Like he can absolutely heal himself a lot. And like, to be real with you, the only 2 skills he's going to be using is a skill 3 and a skill 1. So a skill 1 is also kind of required if you really want him to be like super self-sufficient and doing like damage. The only thing is a single target. So it's kind of like, you know, there's kind of that. But yeah, I mean, the multiplier and then the HP recovery, like he can literally just self-sustain himself. Like I don't think a lot of people like really realize how selfish of a character he is, but he's selfish in a good way. So there's kind of that. You said Lighthouse on home, or you said on him is a bit crazy as well. See, I haven't tested Lighthouse on him, but that I could definitely see Lighthouse on him too. Board is like, he's, like I said, he's selfish in the right way. He's really selfish in the right way, because he's not a bad character. They buffed him too, so he just does way more damage. You said you have him on count and battle will. Oh yeah, that probably goes crazy. I can definitely see that. You said Born Shiida plus Lily is crazy. See, the crazy thing is like, I wish he had more of an interaction with Lily, because that would be nuts for his like if he was able to like crit, which I mean that's kind of that part, but either way, I mean she can still manipulate the turns and assists and stuff like that. But I feel like if you have like him, Suki, and Shiida, man, like a Born being sped up with attack up, and then because I mean that's what he really needs, attack up, and then him having having a defense break on, like, man, a fast Born is kind of like low-key scary. And he said the only thing Lily is redundant for is the crit damage. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it just sucks that he doesn't get the crit damage from her. But yeah, everything else still works. I mean, in reality. So even Doki would be good on him. Yeah. Born, like really all we need is like, we just need some more supports for him, and that it's gonna be over. Born's gonna just like skyrocket. You said so pull Suki from the selector. I didn't say that. I mean, I don't think that you necessarily need to pull her from the selector. I think that what you pull from the selector is what you absolutely need to clear whatever it is that you're trying to do. So, I mean, you got to assess your account. Do you feel like you need Suki to clear what you're trying to clear? Because, I mean, to be real with you, I would say like probably one of the most wanted characters for a lot of players right now is probably Klaus. That, and for those that skip Freya. I'm going to say that like every day, dude. Yo, there's somebody in World Chat saying that earlier, like, yo, I'm so mad I skipped Freya. I'm like, bro, like, why? Like, and see, the other thing is too, is like, some people are like saying like certain things about pay to win this, pay to win. I'm like, bro, if you've been playing since the beginning, you should have pulled Freya. Like, that was a conscious decision not to pull her. Like, cause to be real, she was on a rate up. You could have pulled her. Like, to be honest, like 1,000%. Like that should have been a character. I would actually say she's a must pull, like low key. For if you started, that was a must pull, period. Like she's like what, everything? Like you said, I owe you an apology, Freya. I wasn't familiar with your game. Like, bro, that's like, because people are looking at my team, they're like, how are you doing that with no speed? I'm like, bro, Freya just exists and moves your party. Like, she doesn't have to really do anything. You said, I think she was a must pull if you don't get Lily or Klaus. I think even if you have Klaus, she is 1,000% a must pull. Because here's the thing about Freya. Freya can work in multiple situations. She can work in situations where she doesn't have the ability to land debuffs. She can just be buffing and you still get turn meter push. She gets the value if you're doing debuffs or buffs. So there's multi-situation, it's like she's super multi-situational. So like, then there's the attack up, defense up. There's the Dream Weave, which like, these are things Klaus does not provide. Klaus has a damage reduction, but Freya can remove debuffs if she puts Dream Weave on you. The other thing is too, is this, right? If you invest in Freya, which I don't, like, again, out the box, Freya is good. But as soon as you start putting, like, bro, as soon as you start putting skill ups into her passive, Yo, the Dreamweave stack is gonna be nuts. Like she's gonna be keeping debuffs off of people like it's nobody's business. Damage boost increase of 15%. Like think about that right now. We're getting or bringing that up to 15%. Having that at an extra 3% might not sound like much, but like, bro, just think about what people are already doing to people right now with Freya in PvP. Like, do you really think they need an extra 3%? Like, no, that's because she's gonna be overkilling people. Then on top of that, even in PvE content, that could be a matter of you clearing something or not. Like that's a significant amount of value, right? Then you also have her S1, right? The adjustment for the turn meter. Like there's so much value that like this character gets when you build into her. The thing is though, is she's amazing without any investment. But if you're amazing without investment, what does that mean when you get investment? Like you're about to be doing a whole bunch of crazy nonsense. Like, like that's the thing. So that's why I was like, it's not even just so much of like an early game play with her. It's the long-term investment with her. She only progressively gets better. So the thing with Kloss is nice, right? But Kloss is like very much like true to what she's offering, which is the damage amp, right? Defense break, her unique debuff, the damage reduction, right? And then the turn meter manipulation. That's what she does. But Freya's offering you damage amp, life leech. She's giving you defense up, attack up so you can do more damage. She's making you tankier. She's also removing like debuffs. There's so like, bro, her kit has so much in it. It's like, if you don't get, like, for example, shout out to the homie True Evil, right? He's doing a lot of like his progressive runs with like Doki Doki. And it's like, well, if you don't have a Doki Doki, then who do you use for purification? Right? There's units that can get rid of stuff like Ling Lao, right? But like if a debuff is coming that just straight up mitigates it. Doki Doki, Freya. like those are like the main options. Like, and the thing is, I don't think people actually realize it until they see it, like how much mitigation you're actually getting at that point when you build into those characters. You said Zox Jinx, you said I got to dupe Freya for my SSR ticket. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, they said we're gonna give you a little bit more sprinkled OP on your account, you know? You said, I would say if you're using Shieda, Kloss kind of loses some value. And Freya's rises. Said, so it's nice to have options, especially when we're lacking good cleanses. Yeah, that's true. He said, debuff is huge in this game. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are huge, you know? No, there really is. Oh yeah, we do need one more for Zox Crusaders, don't we? Who left? I was like, yo, who left, bro? Yeah, Kloss doesn't, honestly, Kloss's value is like honestly pretty high in the game. I'm not gonna lie. Like Kloss can be used in disadvantaged attribute situations and still be and still give you a ton of value. Like I would say like I stopped using my Kloss going into Hell 4 for like Aurora. I was using her in Hell 3, which is like the craziest thing. I was just like, she shouldn't even be in here, but the modifier just gets too much and she just like, she gets clapped. she gets clapped, right? Like, so that's kind of that. But other than that, like, if it's not the attribute, Kloss can work in like almost any scenario. Like she's really, really good. The only time she doesn't really work is if there's like an upfront immunity and you don't have anyone to strip that immunity, then it's like, all right, well, I can't do the defense break or I'm not going to be able to get the rotation. But if you got the stripper, then you're good. Yo, what's good, Clutch? How you doing, fam? He says 6-star RC77 nights. Oh, yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I was using this dude. I was trolling. I was doing Aurora with him. He actually works in Aurora, which is kind of funny. But, like, yeah, he's fun to use. RC77 is just, like, he's an interesting unit for dungeons, at least, I would say. You can still use him in probably slower teams for like Doki, but yeah, for Aurora, I was trolling with that. I mean, I really honestly want to use him in PvP, but hey, I'm gonna make him work in PvE too. But the craziest thing with him is his multi-hits. So that's like the biggest thing. RC77 has quite a bit actually. So RC77 has one attack down and defense down. But the other thing is too, is that he's not only able to do that, but he can stun. And then his skill 2 has turn meter pushback with the extension of debuffs. So he extends debuffs altogether. It's not just dot. He extends debuffs. So he can push back turn meter and he can also extend debuffs. And some of the earlier stuff, like when I was using him for, like when I'm pairing him up with like my Dating and like say I have my Dinah land her defense break or something like that, the only way I can really extend that would be either like reapplying it, for example. He can extend all my debuffs, which gives me more of a time or more of windows to basically be able to rotate in. So Dating is still doing his highest damage hit. So between that and the pushback, it's just giving me more time, right? That's all it really is. So that's what I look for with characters. It's like, okay, I'm not just looking at outright just raw damage. I'm looking at how much can I stretch this team comp so that I can have more windows to do something. Because the thing is that if you have more ways to stretch things, the more like possible combinations you can do, right? Because if we're operating under the premise of like everything is all about speed clear, right? Then you basically would be really only looking at a certain isolated number, because there's some characters that perform really well in certain short windows. But if you give some other characters more windows to be able to perform, or put in characters to give your other characters more windows to perform, then you will clear more content. So that's what I look at. I always try to stretch content because I like, if I can get to a speed clear or something like that eventually, I'm fine with that. But if I don't have something, I try to problem solve it. So like I said, same thing with my Doki Doki team. It was like, well, I don't have immunity. How do I figure that? Like, how do I work out that issue? I don't have the speed. How do I figure that out? And I just built into sets that allowed me to counteract it. So it was like, okay, Bulwark helps fix my immunity issue. And then Stride fixed my speed problem because I'm going to get hit anyway. So might as well make it a benefit for me getting hit. It's just kind of the logic behind it. It's like, that's theory crafting though, right? It's like, well, how can I turn this net negative to a net positive? You said talk about Kachi. Yo, Kachi, wait, you talk about Kachi? Kachi and Kachi the Guard are both good. So, Kachi period is good, right? I think Kachi overall is probably one of the most underrated units in the game. I don't think a lot of people actually realize like how good of a character he is, even the red version of him, to be honest. But yeah, Kachi the God, Kachi the Guard is really good, bro. He's really, really good. And you know what's funny? Like one of the solutions to my Doki Doki team would have actually been putting in Kachi the Guard, to be honest. Like he would have been the solution. But I think a lot of people don't also realize like some of the stat requirements that you need when you cross into Inferno. Like you go from like being at like 130, 140 something to needing to be at like 170, 180 something. And really almost like pushing 200% effect accuracy, right? So like when you even look at like my characters now doing Inferno, 174 on my effect accuracy on my claws, right? It jumps up a lot. Like if you like my Kazuya 184. So it's like the values change. You said what is the minimum amount of crit on Rosa? Counting on her 40 plus. I mean, it depends on the dungeon, right? If you're in an advantageous scenario where you're getting the extra 15, then that shifts your amount a little bit. So like I would say typically if you're including her her buff, you want to be about 50%, right? That's usually where you want to be, 55% if you can help it. But you can sometimes run lower because 30% is the buff that she gives, right? So that would put you, if you're at that 50%, you're at 80. If you're in advantages, you get another 15%. So I mean, realistically, you want to try to get as close as possible to 90 or 100%. But like for example, like my whatchamacallit, for my one shot team, I have 35%, but I get the 15% from Doki for being advantageous in there. So that puts me at 50%, and then I get the 30% from Yang, so I'm at about 80%. So there's some tweaking, some fine tuning I gotta do for my crit for it to be a little bit higher. But for what it's worth, the values I need the attack and I need the crit damage. And those are things that, like, you could supplement everything. That's the crazy thing about this game. It's like, there's ways to do it, but like, it's also it's like you have to also consider what it is you need to be able to supplement a certain thing, right? So like, if you're trying to do the speed clear and say you want to emphasize having more crit, then that means you need to implement something that's going to give you crit damage. But it's not so easy as just like, oh, let me put crit damage, somebody that gives crit damage in the team comp. You got to look at what that team comp is doing that's supplementing in that said thing or that specific unit. So a lot of the teams that are supplementing in crit damage, it's either two things. They're using a Lily or they're using a Biotin. But the other thing that you have to identify is how fast that team is. Most of those comps have a Mio or something really fast that's like at least almost pushing 300 speed. So they're able to put in a character even that's at attribute disadvantage because the character's never getting touched. So the thing is that like when you look at, like, if you haven't watched the Mio one-shot Doki Doki team, look at how it does it. Because the Mio is literally taking the whole ally team, stealing turn meter, redistributing it to the party, and basically doing this to the enemies and putting them behind. Like, that's literally what's happening. So if you can't do that, like that's not gonna allow you to be able to run a red character, for example, without them getting one tap, basically. Because like if Biotin's getting hit, she's going to die. Like, it is almost guaranteed. Like, so I don't think people actually are looking at those runs, so they'll try to mimic it, and then they're not realizing like how much actual investment is in that team, or really not even just investment, how much luck is a part of that team, which is one, getting the speed, and then there's the investment in the Mio. Like, those Mios are like 5 out of 5, right? So is that. So when I'm looking at my team, it's like, okay, well, I know I got characters that are going to be getting hit. I can supplement the crit because that's easier for me to do. So I got to make sure that there's enough crit damage. And it's just the thought process kind of shifts. It just really depends on what you have, right? So yeah, that's at least how I kind of like think about stuff, really. But yeah, that's it, really. You said he's the answer for Shell Dungeons, set on Inferno, set a must build. See, but this is like also the thing too. Like, crazy thing is Kachi the guard, like even just regular Kachi even, right? Like regular Kachi, obviously everybody should have that. There's nobody that should not have this unit. But Kachi the guard, bro, I think he needs like what, 180 or something like that. He's like 180 effect accuracy for him to be able to proc this consistently. But immunity defense up with turn meter push is just insane. Like, that's just like that. There's like 183. Yeah, like it's such an insane combination, bro. Like, and there's what, him. Like, he's like the only unit with that combo specifically. That's like such a specific combo. Like, that's such a specific combo, bro. Like, defense up and immunity together is nuts. And then being able to extend the duration of buffs as well is nuts. Like, that's just insane. That's so insane. And I think that that's kind of the thing with the game, is like a lot of things just didn't seem as valuable until people got to a certain point in the game. So yeah, I mean, it's Kachi the guard is really good, to be honest. You said, oh, Icebound, trust me, I've already looked, bro. That's all I do is spend hours on this game. I know he's up there. My problem is that like when I was talking to Cyan about this, the problem is this, right? I still don't think people should be trying to focus Inferno clears right now, even for pets, right? And here's the reason why. Because again, it's still the progression spike stuff. Like, it's like, okay, everybody's trying to jump up too fast. But what ends up happening is it's like it's project overload, right? Free to play cannot build all this crap that they're trying to build. Like, they just can't. You have to micromanage your resources. And what's happening is everybody's trying to build everything to do everything. And it's like, oh, you need a Viper build. You need, like, because even if you're doing SRs, like, I mean, still cost lattice. Like, it's not like, granted, it's more accessible, but it can still, like, you can still run out. Like, you still run out. So it's like, okay, I'm building a Viper now. I'm building a Kazuyo. I got to put skill ups into her. I'm building up, Yang now. If I got the Ting, there's people still trying to build him. There's people that's trying to build their, like, if they're missing something for their Doki, there might be building, what's her name? Chiaki the Echo. They're still the Valerian builds. There's people that's still doing Dyna. I'm just like, dog, like, you gotta pace yourself. You said I only have them up to level 45 to have them ready to put a set on them for later. Said I build horizontal and not vertical. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you look at my account, that's what like most of my units, 45, right? The thing is though, is that I'm also being aware of like of what I'm able to do with skill up investments. So like even when I first started my grind, the first thing I did was actually just whoever I planned on putting skill ups into, I grinded my GP outposts and put the skill ups into them. That was it. And I stopped there. I stopped grinding GP. I actually grinded a little bit extra, but then I went into everything else I needed. Like for the main units I was like really focusing on and using. So I went, built all those units up and got some gear like fleshed out for them. And then I shifted into my XP, got all the characters that I 6-star to 50, all the ones that I used to 45. So it just kind of gave them those fleshed out base stats. Leveled up more of the units around their circles on their skills, at least for the outer rim before you get to the lattice. So there was so much value from the 2 times, to be real. Like it really was. You said I'm now farming separate sets and shells for others, and I'm on hell 3 for everything. And he's on shell. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's the sweet spot, bro. If you really like for real, Icebox, yo, I'm telling you, bro, the drop rate in Inferno ain't even all that. Like, so there's people that's like literally pulling out their strands of hair to get to Inferno just for them not to see like in 1,000 pieces, they might see 2 Swift raids. They might not. Like, they might not see one at all, which is the crazy thing. So it's like, I'm just like, hey, bro, I ain't jumping up like going crazy to like literally be upset, because that's really what's happening now. You said facts with bad subs, bro. It's funny to me that the first piece they give you from Doki Doki is an HP piece. I was like, oh, I want to cry. Like, I want to cry. You said, well, I'm doing Inferno Nico Nana with Obo, Ling Lao, Kachi the Guard, and Viper with a 90% win rate. You said, is that good? I mean, if you have a high win rate, shells are a little bit different though. Here's why. Because shells, if you're really thinking about it, there's no harm in farming the 3rd slot. There's no harm in that. Because all that means is that when you are transferring over your shells with the imprint system, you're just going to have everything ready for when you get the actual gear. I still think within that transition, shells are still the most important thing. They're still the start to your third matrix bonus, because in reality, shells is just transferred. That's it. That's all it really is. So if you can do it, I mean, it's not hurting your farm, to be real with you. Versus like trying to do gear is like a whole that's a whole separate grind. And like even when I think about gear, I'm always redoing the gear. Like it's not like you like how you do with pets where you transfer all your investment over. It's literally I have to re-level every single piece that I get. I gotta test and see if it rolls. So it's like the normalizing of gear versus the normalizing of your pet is 2 different grinds. The base pet and just leveling the pet is not that crazy. Where pets get crazy is rolling passives. That's where pets get crazy. That's the RNG grind for pets. But as far as like the base foundation for pets, it's not that crazy. But doing gear, the base found like rolling for gear is literally every time I get a piece, I have to roll it and see if it's suboptimal to the set, or not even just suboptimal to the set, but the stat value that I'm trying to aim for. And then if it rolls, I gotta keep rolling to see if it goes more. If it doesn't, then that might be a piece I just don't even use altogether because I need to replace a piece. I'm not necessarily, I'm not using that one for the first time unless it's for a character you just haven't built yet. So gear farming is just the grind. It's end game. Like you said, facts, the main stat got to be good too. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I got a few pieces that I think I could use later. But I was like laughing because I was like, bro, like these are on values that I just literally, I don't think I'm gonna use anytime soon. But we'll see. So bro, yeah, I got my 1 Swift raid and that's it. And I've done some Inferno runs, but hold on, let me see. I got some bulwarks and these come from like hell 3 minimum, dude. That's the crazy thing. So where are they at? Oh, I'm in the wrong rarity. Oh, here we go. So I got an effect. I got an effect accuracy bulwark, bro. Do you know how crazy this piece is about to go for me? And I got two of them actually. And they're not even good subs, right? They're okay subs, but and not even okay. They're not even good, right? But these two effect accuracy bulwark pieces mean everything to me. Like the things I'm about to be able to do now, just to get somebody like another character set up on bulwark is gonna be great, right? And on effect accuracy nonetheless, right? So that's like kind of cool at least because that means like off rip, I just use those two. Which if I'm using them on the support, most of those characters are going to have like usually most of the supports I'm trying to get the land stuff, they're gonna have more than one effect accuracy piece on. So I was like, I don't even care what those subs roll like. I got the main stat, and then all I need is the pet with another 3 matrix bonus slot. I already got my bulwark activated at that point for that character, and then whatever else I slot on them is whatever else I slot on them. So I was like, hey, that's cool, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't have a crazy amount. Everything else was like 2, right? And I probably dropped like 1,000. A little over 1,000 stamina into it. But you said roll it now. I don't know. What am I rolling it now for? I don't have anyone I want to use it on yet. I'm not rolling for subs. Like, I'm not rolling that for subs right now. Like, I'm not, 10 racks. I do not have Silence. Like, I'm missing very few units, but I do not have Silence, man. I do not have Silence, unfortunately. Like, in reality, like, my next few days is going to be this. Like, I kid you not. It's this, man. It's rolling passives. This is where my whole week. I'm like pretty much certain this is what I'm doing for the week. I'm dedicating time to rolling, farming, and only rolling pets. That's it. That's my whole week. It's already decided. 7,000 stamina minimum just from resets or refreshes is going straight into pets. I can't deal with this anymore. I gotta make a change. I gotta make a change. And even now, I think I still don't have enough reconfig chips. I only got 300 reconfig chips, bro. It's so messed up. It's so messed up. You said, did you beat the Anasync Shadow Flame Honest? I tried building high crit and beating side ads, but just can't figure it out. I think for that fight, you can still ignore the ads, like passive ignore units. I haven't gotten there yet because I just pushed up a little bit more. I actually probably need to do some of it today. Right now, I am on, what's his name? Fangus, I think it's Fangus. Yeah, bro. Or am I lying? Oh, I'm on Viper now. Yeah, I'm on Viper. So I need to do this and then go into Rahu. And I just been slowly doing it. Like I said, I've been spending hours on my my Doki Doki run. I finished that. And then, I just hadn't touched it. I need to finish these things before the timer runs out, especially for Ethernet Rally. And for Ember Track, I just haven't sat and done it. And I'm kind of at that point now because I'm not going to be doing anything else other than shell farming, making my shells better, and then that's that. You said you use Count over White Fang for Remo. Yes. White Fang is literally her best in slot. I mean, sorry, not White Fang. Count. Sorry. Count is her best in slot. So what Count does, Count allows you to be able to have more emphasis on the crit stats, and it gives you the attack that you would be losing. So that's something that it's just kind of that's not really a big brain strat. It's just kind of what you do, right? So like for example, the entry level for Hell 4, you need to have Ramoka at a minimum of 1.6k. 1.6k, an additional 1.6k with Count. She can single target nuke clear that like it's nothing. 1.6k is all you need. Like that is no attack because Count max Count gives you 1.2k. So when she actually gets the buff, she's at like 3.8k. She's at 3.8k when she's doing that. And so all you need to make sure you have is enough crit damage and enough crit rate. And she gets extra crit rate from being advantages. And boom, that's if you have the setup for it, boom, right? Now, when you go up into Inferno, she needs to be at about 2.2 to 2.3 minimum. So you have to kind of make some adjustments. You have to invest in her a little bit more. But yeah, that's basically that. You said, what is your Inferno Doki Doki team? I gotta copy my own name. My Inferno team right now, I actually put a video up too, breaking down the whole team. But this is my Inferno team right now. Ramoka, Kazuyo, Freya, Klaas, and Yang. That's what I'm using right now. But the builds are like, I'm slow. I'm not fast at all. My fastest character on that team, I think, might be Freya. I think. And she's at 104. Yeah, she's 104. Klaas, I think, is 102. And this is additional, right? Kazumi is at 56 on that team. And Yang is plus 80. And then my DPS is slow too. So yeah, my team is slow. And I mean, it's not slow. It's still a minute and like 13 seconds. It's like minute 13, minute 14. Where the hell is Ramoka? Oh, here she is. Yeah, she's 69. You said, is Rosa even worth building for Doki then? She's just a lot, man. I mean, to be real with you, like if you're trying to do Inferno, period, like whatever it is you're building needs to be built up very, very well. But like the fastest team comps, to be honest, Kairos is going to be with Ramoka. If you're trying to go with something outside of Ramoka, you need to have a you have to slow down your team, right? You're gonna have to build into more bulk. Because even Shieda team, what is you guys average Shieda team? Is it like a minute 30? Like, is it like a minute 30? I don't think it's as fast as Ramoka. I'm almost certain Ramoka's still the fastest, but I know that Shieda setup can still do really well too. He said that comp is on everywhere on Doki Doki. Yeah, I mean to be real, the comp you're gonna see more than anything consists of a Mio. A lot of them aren't LD exempt. Like all the real fast. If it's under a minute, it has a Mio on it. Like you said, my Inferno Doki, my fastest Shieda. So it's almost 130. Okay, so it's about like it's like 123 to 2 minutes. Okay, that's still good. So like for that setup, you can still use Shieda. So if you don't have Ramoka, you can still go Shieda, but you just have to tinker things according to like investments, like certain things. And that's the crazy thing, right? Like depending on how and what team you go for, it kind of changes some of the investment choices you make, right? So because my team is like going for this one shot, I don't have to invest in my skill 1, for example, on my Kazuyo. But if your team isn't doing that, then you need to actually invest into Kazuyo skill 1 because you need to try to land the slumber more often. So that's it. So it's like little things that you have to kind of tweak. So it just depends on what you have from there and like what you'll be able to build. Because there's like so many different ways you can go about it. There's like the super consistent, slower comps with like the Rahu, Valerian, Ling Lao, Gray, Kazuyo. That's a whole setup that works and is pretty consistent for a lot of people. You said Ramoka can solo DPS Inferno Doki. Yes, she does. She's the only DPS in there. Yeah, she's the only damage dealer in there. It said there's no much AoE win DPS. You said, oh, you said we need more. We need more. Oh yeah, I mean, to be honest, like that's why I said like depending on what your comp is, your comp speed will vary, right? Or what you're using. To be honest, like if you're going like again, if you're using a Rahu, it's going to be a slower comp, at least right now, right? I'm pretty sure later down the line when people really get stuff built up, comps are going to get faster, right? Oh yeah, the Messiah, was that Messiah paired up though with I was about to say he was paired up with somebody because I know there's usually if you see a Messiah in Doki Doki, he's usually max built. He's always 5 out of 5 on everything. And he's either paired up, you could probably see him with like the Ramoka pairing, or he's paired up with a Lily. It's one of the two. And the reason why he has to be max is because he needs to have the ability when he's assisting, his skill 1s need to hit really hard. They have to hit very, very hard. So that's why I was trying to not do a LD comp. It's just straight RGB, I guess. He said Shieda comp needs big investment. Said I have 172 speed on my fastest unit, but Still fell in Inferno. Yeah, see, even my stat parameters aren't crazy as far as gear, but that's also kind of like I mean, I feel like every team has something you have to invest in. Like it's not as cut and dry as just like, oh, you build this and it just worked. Again, the only team I feel like is not that crazy and works a lot better is like if you're going like with a much slower team, and you're doing like Rahu, the Valerian, Ling Lao, Gray, like you kind of can supplement certain things and just building into like a team that's just able to deal with like with like just removing the damage reduction and doing damage as you go and just trying to sustain versus I'm trying to one shot everything. Because like if you go for a faster clear comp, then you have to kind of be aware of the fact that like your team's windows are very short, and if they don't do what they need to do in those windows, then the team dies. So it's either you go very, very fast, or if you are taking hits, you're getting boosted from it. So you have to run a strive. You have, like, to be honest, even for my speed, Doki Doki, it is a must. It's not even up for debate. I have to run Bulwark. I have no choice. Because otherwise, if I have an attack break hit my Ramoka, the run literally won't work. Like, she straight up gets her damage like it just straight up kills her damage, period. If I go into the second wave and the ads randomly decide that they want to hit her and stun her, the run is over. If they push her back and she like almost dies, the run is over. You know, like there's so many things that Bulwark set is basically preventing within that first turn before she even gets to go. And it's because of how slow she is. So it's only like, so like that's the thing is like, depending on how fast you're going, you can go without certain things. But when you're going slower, you have to factor in like, I think even one of the things that probably is getting a lot of people in their rotation is, for example, the speed down. The first two ads that go in Doki Doki's setup, they both proc speed down. And so there was some guy that was like, oh, your rotation's off. I'm like, yeah, because I just got hit with 2 speed downs. So if my units were even remotely close to each other in speed, now it messes up your rotation, right? So now you have to kind of think about that. Okay, how much of the RNG or the anomalies can I remove? So when I do my runs, as long as the speed down doesn't target Kazuo, then I don't care who gets hit, because I have so many other things to counteract the speed down. So I built into Strive and I gave them Gigabyte because I was like, all right, well, I can't have these characters fall behind this character because if they go after this character, they'll remove the slumber, right? So Kazuo needs to be before the DPS. So I was like, okay, if I have them fall too short from the speed down, now it's the rotation and the run is dead. So I literally was like, okay, they're getting these 3 turns regardless. Build them into Strive so they get pushed from when they're getting hit. Even if they are affected by the speed down, by the time that 3rd turn comes in, Gigabyte's going to push them up forward. And that's literally how I was able to fix the issue of my units rotating behind Kazuo when I didn't need them to. So it's like this game, the game has problems. You just have to figure out how to solve it. Like, so that's what, and again, I love theory crafting and I love doing stuff like that. I think a lot of people jumped into this game and just thought they were going to equip units and they were just going to do things. Like, that's never, I'll be honest, Summoner's War was never like that. E7 was never like that. This game is going to be no different. The fun of the game is actually building things, tinkering, doing multiple runs over and over and over, getting something to finally work after you've done it 300 times. Like, that's the fun in the game for people. And I feel like if you don't find that part fun, like theory crafting, it's going to make this earlier progress just much harder unless you're just willing to wait for people to do stuff and then put out a guide for you to watch. Because I was considering a Bulwark Shiida just for Doki Wave 2. So the stun is so annoying. Yeah, and see, right, like this is just problem solving, right? What are the issues that you face per wave? Because the first wave is all those debuffs. It's not even the damage that's really the issue. It's all the debuffs: attack break, defense break, speed down. It's just like everything in there is cooking you in the first wave, and then you go to the second wave, and Doki Doki Inferno is messed up because they really said, you know what? We're not going to keep a squishy ad in the second wave. We're going to make sure everybody's evolved. So now you're getting AoE'd the first rotation in. Like just straight up, as soon as you go in, everybody's getting is AoEing you. You're getting cooked. Like as soon as you walk in the room. So I was just like, dang, bro, like that's messed up. So even just working against that and like, okay, how like what was the damage requirement to be able to nuke? Like say the smaller ad, like the smaller ad was the 1.6K, right? But when you go to the bigger ad, you need to get up to that 2.2, 2.3K attack in order to be able to nuke one of those with the count addition. You say, is that crit rate enough? Yes, for my team comp, right? So for my team comp, that is enough crit rate because Ramoka is damage, she's advantages. So she gets 15% more crit rate. So right now, base, I have 35, right? But when I go into that fight, I get another 15% for hitting into blue attribute units. Then I have Yang that's giving me another 30% crit rate. This all happens before she even gets to go, right? So yeah, I'm able to crit pretty consistently. I would say my run is about, on average, about 7 out of 10 right now. It's about 7 out of 10. And the biggest thing is that I still get the turn meter push from him. What's her name? Freya's on the team, so I'm always moving with that too. It's a lot of things that kind of help out that team. But yeah, the crit rate, you can run lower crit rate as long as you calculate it so that you have it set up in the team to be supplemented. If I was in a, say she wasn't an advantages character, I actually would try to run more crit on her and try to actually filter the attack from some other source. Or I might run lower crit damage and then try to put someone in that can give me that crit damage instead of the crit rate. So it just depends on what you're doing. You have to kind of tweak it to what you kind of have for the setup. Most of the setups where it's implementing more crit damage are fast. Because I don't have those setups, I went for more crit damage on a slower build. But I, again, just kind of did the math on it. You said, yo, what's good, Dev Notes? So I hope you're doing well. So, you know, in Etheria gear, you lock your defense team with stick. No, it doesn't. If you remove it in like while you're doing something, it does not stick. No, it would straight up be cooked. It would straight up be cooked. So if you have a really good damage, Kachi the GOAT could provide you 4-turn immunity by making him the fastest. Yeah, that is true, right? But like, see, that's the crazy thing is that like, yeah, I could do that later down the line, maybe when I build. But then again, like my damage build doesn't really change much with going bulwark because like for the pieces that I got, like you could still build damage and it be on bulwark, right? Yeah, it could still be damage build. Like the only set I care about is momentum. That's all I care about. That's all I really need at this point. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, if I could just have her 100% just on damage, then that would be cool. Because Kachi the Guard, I'm gonna build anyway. But I'm trying to build up all my other projects first. I have way too many projects right now. And really, it's because of this Viper Yang. Like Viper Young just kind of flipped me up because I just start RC77, skilled him up a little bit, skilled up Viper, I did Yang a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna get to Kachi though. I'm gonna get to him because he is good. He is definitely good. But yeah, my Yang, this is my Yang right now. For Doki Doki, for my my setup, I don't need any effect accuracy. I don't need him to strip nothing. Like I don't care about any of that. All I care about is him going skill 2, and then in second turn, he goes skill 3, so I can push forward my whole team. That's it. He said, as a new player, every YouTuber I saw recommended to spam. Oh, where my light go out? Okay, there we go. He said, every YouTuber recommended to spam summons on permanent banner, so I missed her. See, and you know what's crazy is like, even with that, like I was trying to, I don't know, man. I probably should have been putting out more videos, but I was streaming a lot. But to be honest, even with the Freya thing, like I even still went. Like you start out perma banner, but you still went to Freya's banner. The whole point of starting out perma was just in case, like in those first few like 100 pulls, you see like, okay, because if you do pull Freya early, then it was like, okay, cool, I don't have to go her banner. But if you got to that point where it was like, I didn't get her yet, you still went for her banner. Like, and a lot of people were trying to argue like, oh, the limited banner is just, and I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, like that unit is That unit is huge to have. Like, she really is. And it's at base. You don't have to put, because even if you have Lily, you still got to put skill ups into Lily. Like, with characters like Freya, she requires absolutely zero to work. Like, she just works. So that's kind of the thing. Like, even just in terms of like what free to play out the box value you're kind of looking at that's guaranteed. Freya was the most guaranteed value for the start of the game, at least from a limited banner. You said, does Yang even need skill ups to do what you want from him? Honestly, you have a codex on him. Well, the reason why I have him skilled up is so I can get more turn meter push, right? So that's the biggest thing. Codex also does not affect his skill 3. It is going to affect his skill 2. That's the thing. And I don't have Codex on him. I have Gigabyte on him. Yeah, to be honest, you run him Gigabyte. I want him to cut. I don't want him to redo his skill 2 again. Because Codex affects whatever skill you do first. You got to remember, this out the box lasts for 2 turns. I'm only trying to be in that fight for a couple turns anyway. So I don't need to double up or reset my attack and crit rate. What I need is for him to use this once. That's a buff. So with Freya on the team, it's going to push my team. Then going into the next turn, what I'm getting here, and the only reason why I skilled this up was so I can get that extra turn meter push from it. I think it's like at like 8%, something like that. But I wanted the full 10. So that's what I did. And then later on, I am going to be using him in my Aurora team. So I'm going to have 2 different builds for him too. So there's going to be one that emphasizes a little bit more of the stripping. This one doesn't matter because I don't need him to strip. He said if you want to clear both waves, you would need Codex. No, you don't. No, Jagger, go watch my last video. It's just cutting. You don't need Codex. Because Codex on him, all it's going to do is make him use this twice. That's it. I want the turn meter push. If I go Codex twice on this, then what happens is it cooks my rotation. That means I never get that turn meter push from this, and then my team is still behind, and I take more hits, which is going to get me killed, right? So the whole premise of him being on Gigabyte is so for the enemies that are getting turns, it's going to allow me to be able to cut in front of them. Because remember, Gigabyte is giving you a 35% turn meter push. So that with him on Strive, I'm getting pushed from being hit, and I'm getting pushed from them getting turns. So all I'm really manipulating at that point is I'm just taking advantage of the fact that the enemy is the enemy. So the enemy is going to be hitting me, and they're going to get turns. It's just me counteracting the fact that I lack speed. That's it. So like that's all it is. So you go crit rate buff, attack up buff, which really kind of doesn't matter because you can't stack it. Freya gives that anyway. So there's that. But I want that crit rate up buff to filter my crit rate that I don't have on my Ramoka. And then next turn, when I'm in that second wave, I want that turn meter push so I can push everybody to the forefront. I slumber, and then there's sleep. And then now Ramoka is just like in Rip City. That's like basically what the setup is. But that was something I just tweaked and tested. Like I said, it took me hours to do, but I made it work. And I, again, just tested it over and over and over to make sure it was consistent enough. And the first time I cleared it, though, which is kind of the funny story, the first time I cleared it, I didn't actually have Bulwark built onto my Ramoka. So I would say my run was probably like, if I was to run 100 runs, I probably would have gotten that exact run maybe one time out of like, I would say probably 1 out of 50, every 50 runs, maybe. It was like that. That was the ratio. So when I was like, okay, that's my base, I cleared it like that. What do I need to do to make this more consistent? And that's what I basically built into. So when I initially was doing this, I didn't have all that attack shifted a certain way. I had to change some of my passives, so I rolled passives. It was a lot of tinkering I did. And yeah, now the team is fine. You said, is Revelation worth building up for Messiah? I said, maybe Rosa down the line once I invest in her, or should I stay on White Fang? Messiah works really well with what's it called? Revelation, actually. It's just a matter of you making sure that the character's critted. That's it. He works really, really good on Revelation. So that is something that is worth for him. Rosa, again, her team setup, if you're trying to use her for damage, is kind of one thing. She's, you know, full invest character. But the main thing is that, like, with her, she also, if you're, say you're running them together, she's going to reduce your crit rate requirement because she gives that crit rate up buff, right? My Yang build, hold on. Hold on. Let me go to it. It said, Holden is good addition to that team. I didn't even see it. It said, yeah, I regret not pulling her. She's one of the 5-6 RGBs I'm missing. Yeah, it's like, it's some units that I was just like, man, like, hopefully at some point, you know, we hit that milestone. I don't know. They like say, hey, let's give everybody a selector because we feel like being nice for no reason, you know? My Yang, I go to his mods. This is my Yang right now. He's Strive, and I even maxed out Strive either. Strive with crit rate, defense, and HP. You got to remember the crit rate's important for him because of the fact that when you crit, it increases all allies' turn meter by 10%. When Ado lands a crit hit, it's the 45% chance to dispel. So 3 hits is for the turn meter push, 3 hits is for the dispel. He said, who's good with Golden Lion? Damn. It really is, I think it's like most DPS that maybe might need effect accuracy. I'm trying to think who I would like prioritize a Golden Lion on. Chat, is there anybody out using Golden Lion on right now? I feel like everybody's using like Revelation, White Fang, or Count, if I'm being honest. Like that's like, those are probably like the top 3, period. It's like Obero, Heinrich. I can see that. But even then, like, that's just like, I don't know. You say you saw it on a Fangus? I can see that on Fangus, because Fangus does get like built-in damage too. So I use, okay, Fangus, yeah. So it looks like, what, that's like, yeah, it's like Fangus. So it's like kind of like one character, really. He said Tiamat isn't too bad for Doki. No, she's not bad. She's not bad for Doki or for Aurora. The homie Scion's team is has Tiamat on it for Aurora, and he's doing, I think he's doing either Inferno or Hell 4 right now. He's going crazy. He has Viper on that team too. He said Shadow Sania. You should use Golden Lion on Shadow Sania too. I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because again, it's just for the you have the effect accuracy packed in there too. He said it's such a niche shell. Yeah, there's not a ton of characters that it's not your average shell that you would kind of grind for. It's kind of specific. It said Hell 4, Doki, and Aurora with Tia. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, Tia. The thing is Tia needs to be built. Like, I think that's the thing with Tia. She's not as ooga booga early, like out the box to just beat everything. But yeah, she's still good. You said Ramoka can solo DPS and Inferno Doki. Yeah, Ramoka can. Yeah, Viper is very good. Like he's actually pretty nuts. I'm not gonna lie. He's definitely very, very good. Very, very good. He said, should I upgrade my Rosa for her? I mean, you can use her for that if you want to, but I mean, the biggest thing is making sure that if you're using her, you got to think about the rest of the comp that you're using. I mean, she has the damage though, if you build into it to actually make that fight pretty. She can make it a lot faster. She can definitely make it a lot faster. He said, I didn't believe the Viper hype, but he's legit. Yeah, Viper's always been like pretty good too, which is like, that's kind of the thing with him. Yeah, that's kind of the thing with him. Viper's always been like just kind of a good go-to, just works in most things. If especially you're looking for that strip. Oh my god, I gotta fight his behind now. Let's see. I'll try to go through this. But yeah, Viper, I was using him. Now my Yang is gonna be popping off. I actually need to test that team out again because him being able to have that turn meter push now, invested a little bit more. That's gonna be the icing on the cake, I think, for my turn meter push. All right, so let's see. Do I have her built right now? I'm pretty sure I'm slow here. Almost certain of it. All right, let's see. Do we outlive this, or do we get clapped? Okay, Kachi's faster. Oh wait, I'm gonna have to bust out my Viper because I don't have a stripper. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to bust out my Viper. Oh wait, he didn't. Oh, never mind. That Kachi is trash. Never mind. Yo, that Kachi is mad trash. He didn't give immunity to the team because he doesn't have any effect accuracy. Oh yeah, it's over for you, buddy. Yep, get cooked. Hey, so Rahu, you trying not to be a spaz, you know? You said, so you've been enjoying Shield on the Aurora team. It said, do LD characters get plus 15 crit when hitting an RGB? No. No, they don't. Yeah, nah. That would be a cheat code if they could. RGBs or LDs get the benefit of being able to be slotted into most things because they're neutral, but they don't get any stat bonuses unless they're going up against each other, I'm pretty sure. You said I was stuck at Aurora 3, could not auto until I put level 45 Viper, no skill. Instant auto run for Aurora 4 auto clear. Yo, that's how it is. That's the crazy thing. Damn. I feel kind of bad. Should I feel bad like beating this up like this? I don't think so. No, because if the shoe was on the other foot, they'd be having a good old time. They're clapping me, so I'm good. So would you be saving gems for a potential Lily banner? No, I don't care about Lily that much. I have her. I honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I have her and I don't really use her. I'm gonna be real. Like, and I 6-starred her and everything. When I say rarely use her, I'm not even joking. Like, I really don't use her like that. Like, the thing, and maybe that's also because of the type of player I am. I don't use I don't like try to rely on just a singular unit to do stuff, to be real. Like, not as a CC. I try not to. Because I know I have to make content, and if I, like, okay, how valuable would the content be if every single video you seen Lily on the team? like we're being honest. Like, if you see every team comp Lily on it, like that it wouldn't really be that valuable. Like, being honest, like, because all that would be showing is like, okay, yeah, I got the clear, but like, damn, you need Lily. Like, there's no other way for you to do that. Like, you said I click off the moment I see her face. So like those are just the things that I'm conscious of, right? Granted, I think it is okay if you have the unit, you can use them in certain things, right? But I think it's also something important to also be aware of is like let your viewers know what alternatives there are. Talk about those other combinations and comps, right? And this is the thing. I'm not going for high views. Like, I could be pumping out videos for the highest amount of views, getting 10K, 20K. It's like, I could be doing that right now, right? Because I know what videos would work and get me that. But I want you guys to see me work through pain points, because this game is all about pain points. That's it. That's all. It's all about pain points. If you don't know how to work through pain points, when they decide to drop the next set of content, all people are going to do is complain. They're not going to problem solve. This is the name of these types of games, is problem solving. Your game is bad if you can't problem solve it. So if this game truly was like, damn, you don't got Lily, you can't do it, that's a problem, right? But as we've seen that happen, you can't do this. If you don't have this, it's been a video like literally the next day that's like, well, I don't have that. This is how you do it. So every video, and this is why I said, like, within the community, it's nice to see that everybody, they're not making drama videos. All they're doing is they're just showing that it's possible. So they're making videos, and the video speaks for itself. They don't have to say anything directly to anyone. They can literally just say, hey, here's my team comp. I don't like for me, my video is showing you don't need high speed. You don't. You just gotta finesse it. Like, that's it. Other videos are showing, hey, you don't need this character. Here's some other options, but this is the build, right? You have to be conscious of that. So for every strat, there's a way of approaching it. There's certain skill investment choices that were made. So it's just that, right? And so that's the thing that you have to look at. And so for me, I like to mix it up personally, because the other thing for me, I'm not gonna lie, I get bored when I'm only using one unit to do everything. Like I kind of don't like that. So that's why it's like, as soon as I can get one of my other single target damagers built, oh my God, the thing, I'm using other people. I cannot, bro. Like, I do not like using the same character for everything, but it's the earlier phases. So eventually my account will be more fleshed out, right? That's the hope, right? Eventually. Oh my God, am I gonna get clapped? Because I think it's more you need time to improve other units when you don't have that specific unit. Well, I don't even think it's necessarily just that either, though, because I think, like, if we're being real, if people would have known from the beginning to invest into certain things, they would have done it, right? It's a matter of people just figuring it out. The thing is that there were certain units that were, again, made super popular. And then when you're seeing people do things and it's taking up the top of the leaderboards, it's now creating this idea that, hey, that's the only thing that can do it. Oh, damn, he actually has immunity on this one. I need to strip him this one. Hold on. Reset. Yeah, they trolled me with the last runs. They said, yeah, we're not going to give you a good Kachi, but we're going to make sure he's doing it this one. But yeah, it's just a matter of, like, it's just figuring it out, right? Because I think that's the thing. Like, there's certain units that are made popular. So when you think about it from this perspective. If it's Lily, probably one of the most popular units in the game, right? So when you think about that, if everybody's going out of their way to reroll for this character, they're building this character, they're doing everything for this character and with this character, wouldn't that create and mean that most builds to present themselves first would be with that character, right? Like that's what's gonna happen. If every person is basically aiming for that character, those would be the first videos you'll see. Launch, was anybody thinking about Kachi the Guard? Nobody was rerolling an account for Kachi the Guard. Like, nobody was rerolling for a Shadow Sania. Nobody was rerolling for, like, people, they were trashing those accounts if they had those characters on them. Like, nah, I'm out of here. You don't got Lily, it's out of here. So the thing is now is that once people kind of figure that out, or the people that, like, don't have it, they're like, well, what do I do? You know, like, because that's ultimately always the question. No matter what scenario's been presented, it's like, well, what do I do? Because obviously I don't have that. And it's kind of crazy if, like, that's the only way to do it. And so every time, whether it's me, somebody else, they'll take the mantle and say, you know what? Hey, I've been working on this. I just need let me just show people what I've been working on. So, like, literally within days, we've seen Hoyan come out of nowhere, one tapping with the Ting Terramatan. We're seeing all different types of runs for Doki or for Doki Doki with Doki Doki, which Doki Doki's getting crapped on all the time. But when you get into Inferno, Doki Doki's probably one of the best units in there for being able to actually deal with all those debuffs and crap that you're dealing with. Then you got the strat that I put out with the slow. I still can go for one-shotting, but I'm just not fast. Like, that's the thing. I can still do it. I just had to build Bulwark and Strive. Nobody's building Bulwark and Strive because people are all only really fixating on, if this is a DPS, then I'm building damage gear on them. I'm not building, well, I'm not doing a PvP gear on a unit. And it's like, no, all of this gear is used to help facilitate PvE so you can do PvP. So Strive, Bulwark, Time Weave, those aren't PvP sets. Those are also PvE sets. So it's like breaking that mental barrier, because so there's so many different things that have been created that, like, all of us are collectively trying to work against and show players like, hey, that's not true. This is viable in PvE. If you don't have the means, like, I was looking at it because I thought about that. I was like, dude, I could go build Kachi the Guard, or I could just go get the set. Because all I need is a turn. I don't need 4 turns of immunity. I just need 1. Like, that's all I need. I need 1 turn of immunity. And that completely changed whether or not I could auto my team, auto Doki Inferno or not. Just 1 turn of immunity. So it's like little things like that. And I'm still able to hit my damage numbers. I'm still able to filter in enough crit, still have the crit damage respectively. So it's just the theory crafting. That's all it really is. And I didn't go and necessarily, like, I think the only thing I built outside of what I was already building maybe was Yang. And even then, he was, if we're being honest, taking a character to 5-star is not that crazy. Like, that's really not hard to do. So even people watching my stuff now, they can make it like those adjustments and get their teams more get into more operating status at that point. You said people are generally not good at problem solving. Yeah, no, that's facts, which I think is why it's so important we do put out our findings and stuff like that. I think that's 1,000% true. And I'm not saying that you guys got to become master theory crafters. Not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that one of the things that I had to learn with these types of games is that, like, if you really want to play them and not get caught up in the hype of things, you have to understand what you can do and what you can't do. So I have people tell me what I can't do all the time, and I always prove them wrong. It was like, what was it, last few days, everyone like, oh, you gotta have the speed to do this. You need Mio. No, you don't. I'm like, I already can see what teams I can do because I'm just looking at what I'm dealing with, and then I start basically problem solving or process of elimination. So it's like, okay, if I can eliminate the fact that this debuff is doing this to me, this means that now my DPS can do this. So as soon as I problem solved that, I was fine. Making my tweaks for rotations, figured that out. I was like, okay, I don't have the 163, 166 Mio. Let me figure out what I can do to supplement that. Oh, wait, there's a set that gives me more turn meter? Oh, damn. Okay, wait, I can pair that up with Gigabyte. Now, I'm getting constant turn meter from getting abused. And after they finish abusing me, I get to spike my turn and basically put myself to go. That's the thought process. And so the reason why I bring that up though is because in reality, if you want to be better at these games, you have to learn them, right? Same thing like with E7. Like I was trash at PvP. I had to actually sit and play PvP. Like it's like I can't expect to just magically get better. I gotta actually like learn them. So I think like, again, a lot of people don't read the characters, but I think like really like for what it's worth, if you just took a day where you just looked at the characters, maybe even some of the characters that you're using, and tried to figure out what some of the values were, things of that nature, that would help you out a ton. You said in this game, resources are the problem, so they give you no space to do problem solving. You do the wrong thing once and you're stuck. Well, here's the thing. Even to that, one thing that I do before I do anything is I run things multiple times to see what things are looking like, right? I don't make immediate investment choices. Every investment choice that I've made on my account so far, I don't regret, right? And that's just simply because I will sit there. If I have to catch every anomaly or as many as I possibly can, like when I was doing my Doki Doki runs, I was running that over and over and over. I didn't care I was losing stamina. I was like, hey, it is what it is. Over and 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 over. And when I finally felt like I gathered all the things that were kind of wrong in the run, that's when I started to try to problem solve what my issues were. So I identified, like I said, the issue I was having was speed down was cooking me, right? I was like, all right, that's messing my rotation up. That's one issue. Attack down is messing me up. So well, no, beta doesn't matter. Beta doesn't matter. I promise you, beta has nothing to do with the workup. Promise you it doesn't. Because no one spent hours and hours and hours playing beta to do this. Most players playing right now that play beta did not do this process. Promise you they didn't. The other thing is too, is that that's just an excuse. Like it just is. So even if you came into the game blind, before I picked up this game, I played previous games like E7. There's people that came into this game that already understood, like, you know what, let me take my time and let me watch comps. Let me make certain investment choices. There's some people that don't even watch our videos that are clapping more content than we are. That's just an excuse. A lot of the people that played beta, yeah, did give wrong info. If we're being 100% fair, right? And who was telling you these things between me and Sion, collectively telling you guys, hey guys, maybe you guys want to like maybe not do these things because these were things that were tested from the top and not from the bottom. So this is the issue that happened with Pridewind, right? Again, for what it's worth, people will come in and they're saying, hey, Pridewind has this tier, it has that tier, it has this tier, it has that tier. I told people off rip, I said, hey, the tier list isn't necessarily wrong, but the problem is that it's not factoring the fact that you have to get there. So people went in day one, I'm maxing out Rosa, I'm maxing out this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. And so they cooked their account before they even really started playing. Versus, hey, let me take my time. Most people that you watch playing that really was paying attention, it like again, like plugs that I put on my channel, like the homie True Evil, Sturby, Scion, and there's a few other people, right? They were playing with certain things and they didn't really change much on their account until they got to a certain point. They were being very intentional on what they changed. Dude, I was using Leon until I was in like damn near health. Like I was doing health 3. I didn't change it because I was like, why would I change my team right now if I don't have to? So I was even trying to present that like, hey man, like you can kind of make these decisions without making those changes right off rip, right? So I think the problem was that as a whole, a lot of people were being pushed into a direction that put them more at a disadvantage than not, right? You said I play E7, I'm an Emperor every season. Said things is the costs are a serious problem. E7 has charms that may slow your progress, but at least you can gain enough from great cells. Okay, was that the case in E7 when it first came out, right? Like it wasn't. Like E7 was horrendous when it came to building stuff. Like it just took, it was the early days, right? Progressively though, it should get better. I think that's the thing is the argument of how fast you should be doing things within the almost 3 weeks of the game being out. I don't think it's justifiable, right? Like we're saying that it should be easier to do X thing, but it's like, okay, what should be easier? Like gear grinding? Like that's just the name of the game. One thing I will say though, drops on Inferno, for that to be the hardest difficulty, that needs to be better. I will say that 1,000%, but the ability to be able to level your gear and having more systems, those things should be things that will progressively get easier. And the other thing is too, is not leveling everything. Like to be real with you, most clears and most builds, and this is why I was telling people, I was like, dude, before you start farming mythic gear, really try to build out your units on your outstanding gear. Most people were climbing into Hell 4s with outstanding gear. They weren't doing it with mythic gear. Like they weren't doing it with mythic gear. So the idea that I have to have mythic gear or this gear to be able to do something isn't the case. If you're going into Inferno, I would argue, to be real, you have to actually farm the stuff. Like, to be honest. You said, I'm not saying it should be easier. I'm saying the economy is bad. It's worse than E7 was in the beginning. I don't think that's true. E7 in the beginning was literally level 47 gear from story mode. That's absolute cap. That's absolute cap. Getting a level like that's the thing. Even doing like the earlier Wyverns were mad hard. It was like a few characters you had to have to be able to do certain things. And that trust me, I was a person who spent thousands on E7 year one just to have certain characters. And the thing is that E7, even in their earlier days, it was horrendous. And it was definitely more along the lines of, if you don't have this ML, it was impossible. It's like Molagora was insanity. Dude, are we forgetting Molagora? Molagora was the most toxic thing ever. It took you to max out one character. It would take the amount of time it would take to max out one character in that game was nuts. Like it to be real with you, it was truly if you were a spender, just like you really like even spending wasn't really helping like that. MLs was a spender's fest. Like having certain MLs, like bro, like it was nuts. RB at that time was like gold on your account. Like it's like bro, gear grinding is like not even like it just is what it is. You said E7 is an old game. We shouldn't compare E7 or Etheria to E7 at launch. No, but the problem is okay, so you compare E7 now to a freshly launched game. Because the problem is that there's a progressive nature to what makes the game better over time and what things should be in the beginning versus not. The problem is that the economy, and as you start to progressively scale, if you don't rush content, the scaling isn't that bad, right? Not to say it's perfect, but it's not as bad. The problem is, right, because we can go back to last week. There's people saying the economy sucks, but they were trying to farm mythic gear in the second week and have Swift Raid, Swift Smite, and all of those sets that are literally in game. that is literally in game. So that's and I won't even say second week. Going into second week, people were like, "Oh, we can't do Inferno." Like, what? Like the expectation is unrealistic. So again, with us being in third week, we're just now hitting a point. We just had a ×2. We're now going into a point where now people are starting to get more things built up on their account. ×2, I felt like was super necessary. But if we're being honest, things that will help the economy will simply be things like running the ×2 more often. Oh yeah, dog walking was also horrendous. Yeah. But the reason why you also talk about things from day one, year one, is because comparing, and this is what usually happens, people would compare E7 now to a current game state in their first month or first few weeks. And it's not fair, because the problem is that E7 is 7 years old. E7 had time to progressively get better. And I would even argue for us to even be in the first 3 weeks, people already clearing hell, and even some being able to do Inferno, is already substantially better than E7. like that's the thing. Like, you could not do that in E7 at that point. So like that's the point I'm making, is that E7 first month, you were not clearing the hardest. This is equivalent basically of you going into E7 and you go straight up to Wyvern 13 in year one, which, I mean, it wasn't a thing then, but like the highest Wyvern at that point. It took people months to be able to get to Wyvern, the highest Wyvern at that time. Like that's the thing. So I feel like the economy, and these are some of the things that we push for to help with the economy of the game, was running the 2x event more often. Because what that does is that it'll allow players to actually be able to properly have windows to save resources like their pots, so that they can have those boosted windows to farm like they want to and blast a whole bunch of stamina, get a whole bunch of stamina yield, and have that one sitting where they're like tinkering their stuff, making it slightly better. Of course, they can give us more things like lattice and stuff like that. I think, like, I'm not opposed to it, but I also think it's the other side. It's just like being realistic. So like all of these games I've been there for, like early Summoners War, early E7, I've been and returned even in between. Like, a part of my job as a content creator, and this is what I always try to emphasize to people, is that like the biggest thing that I always try to maintain, and I always go back and return to games, is because I never want to have an opinion that's based off of years ago. I want my opinion to be current. So like E7 now is amazing. Like if we're being real, it is absolutely amazing. Yes, I played Dragon Heir, Silent of Gods. Dragon Heir, Silent of Gods, yo, Dragon Heir that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I played that pretty heavily. I played, was it 3 seasons of that? And you know that's the type of game where the seasons will reset. So like, yeah, I think it was two or 3 seasons of that. But I love the game though. I'm not gonna lie. I actually like Dungeons and Dragons style type stuff. So I played the hell out of that game. And I also play Raid, so there's that, right? And I play Watchers of Realms. But like, that's the thing. It's like, I always go even to the worst of the worst, which is like, I would argue right now the worst is Raid, period. Like Raid is just Raid, right? I even went and played that just so that I could have like a somewhat solid scope on how game pacing should be, how it should feel. Like, you know, because I feel like that's the thing, is a lot of it is just like, it's the progressive nature of the game. Even like with the stuff that we just sent the developers, they're already in the talks of adding some of those things and trying to figure out what they can do to make things better. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they shouldn't add more things to make things better. I'm not saying that at all. But I think it's the reality of what we should be doing versus not at this point, considering how early it is. And I think for what it's worth, even the fact that they're willing to take these things to the table and say like, okay, players are having this issue. what can we do to like kind of meet them in that, you know, meet them halfway. Like I said, for me speaks volumes. So that's the thing. Dragonair has had PvP in it as well, yes. But that's to me speaks volumes, because that means that like even with them having their economy and the game set up the way that they want, they're still like, all right, what do players need and what can we possibly do to still meet them halfway? And like I said before, most of the things that we've gotten so far, really for most things that we've asked for, the devs have given it to us. And so that's why I like think even the argument like, oh, these devs are just trying to, I'm like, bro, the devs have literally given us basically everything we've asked for. Like almost everything. They said, oh, you want a 2x event? Got it. You guys don't want characters touched no more? Got it. We gonna you not even characters. We ain't gonna touch nothing until the season's over. Got it. That's what you guys want. Got it. You guys, you guys like, and the thing that we have on the table right now is making sure that events feel fuller. So trying to make sure that because I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to you said, when is the video with Scion? I'm a see when Scion's free, and we'll do that video. The reason why I'm waiting though is because I don't want to set an expectation for the community that something's going to happen and then it doesn't happen. But I don't mind like speaking to some of the things that we brought to the table, which is like basically systems to make the beginner process easier, but not in the sense of like, hey, here's just more resources. It's more so about giving you things that matter the most to what you're doing specifically. So like, for example, some of the things that we were like kind of looking at was just simple things like this, right? Hyperlink Charter gives you things, but it doesn't give you specific things. So like, for example, you can get like that one piece from clearing the difficulty of each thing one time, and they'll hand you like a piece, right, of the higher rarity that you're going into. But that's not really doing anything for you, right? So it's kind of like, okay, we need to kind of come to some sort of like setup, and just really just making sure that players are being given certain things to let them know this is intended to help you with this, right? This is intended to help you with that. So just more set in stone guidelines and units to help you in your progress. Because I think one of the biggest things is SRs. SRs not being emphasized enough. So first problem, free to play started playing this game as if they were whales. And that's a fact, because most people were trying to build teams that consisted of primarily SSRs. So if you do that for your Doki Doki team, you're doing that for your Terra Matan team, and you're doing that for your Aurora team, yeah, good luck having the skill ups required to be able to build those teams out fully, right? Now, SRs, if we think about that, the yield on SRs and how much more investment you can get in an SR, if we're even still operating under the same premise that you just max out one skill on some of those characters, maybe go into a second skill a little bit, you would have so much more investment if you focus more on the SRs. And what we're coming to find is that a lot of the teams, and what's really making these teams tick, isn't fully invested SSRs. It's more built up SRs that are allowing the team to be able to operate with those SSRs. So like, for example, you look at Doki Doki, who are some of the predominant SRs in those teams? You got Kazuyo, you got Yang, you got Valerian, you got Gray, you have people using Chiaki the Echo, you have, I'm trying to think who else is there that you can throw in there. I feel like I'm blanking on somebody, and I like see them. Some people are using earlier Krakens. They're using, I'm trying to think. Who else is in there? There's now Kachi the Guard, RC77. Like, so yeah, that's kind of the thing, right? Like you have tons of units just there that kind of give you value. Now, the thing is though, is it will dictate potentially how fast the team can be. So that's the thing. You said there's not even enough purple lattice to build SR blue. Lattice is even rarer than gold. No, you get way more. You get way more purple lattice than you do gold lattice in this game. And the thing is that So one thing I will say, micro lattice is kind of funny because that is low key mad rare for no reason. I don't know why like micro lattice is like that. It's not even that it's just rare. You have to buy it with currency for the most part. Um, but purple lattice is the most given lattice in the game. But micro lattice, micro lattice is literally like, it's just kind of where it's at. But yeah, I don't know why that doesn't drop anywhere. But hey, I have to figure that one out, because that one, yeah, I do get that. That's like, it's like in weird pockets. It's like some on the battle pass. I guess there is that too. Yeah, there's not a lot of R units in the game in comparison to the other rarities. So yeah, there's a lot of validity to that too. But yeah, it's like you got to buy it from PvP basically. Like that's kind of how they have it set up. Is that, or you use the summon currency to buy it. You said yeah, to be fair, a lot of games SRs are kind of trash and you need SSRs to be good, but this game not so much. Yeah, I mean, to be honest. Yo, what's up, Dulce? How you doing, fam? You said it's $30 a week, micro ladder. Yo, that's nuts. I'm not doing that. That's like, nope. I know everybody's building Vice right now, but bro, all that means, and here's the thing, right? I think within this game, like, I think I had to kind of remember a couple of different things, right? And the thing is that free to play, it's also progressive decision making you have to make. And this stream somehow kind of talked into like mentality of gacha gaming, I guess somehow, but it's progressive investment. So you can think about things from the perspective of long term, like, yes, I want to get and start working towards lattice, right? But you have to think about the stepping stool, like stepping up, right? So, okay, when I look at the shop, right? We gotta think about this, right? So let's go to the arena shop. I'm doing arena. I want the perfect lattice, right? That's cool. I like absolutely want it. I want to build up my SSRs, but that's like 7,500. It's early game. I'm trying to figure out like, what am I doing? You know, like what am I actually doing? Like, what am I pushing? What am I trying to maintain? How do I want to go about it, right? Now, in some cases, it's going to be a matter of you might for a week might say, you know what? I'm not going to use any of my arena currency to get this perfect lattice, because later on I can make that up. I like, maybe I'll get enough shards from an event, or the next week I'll get it. But this week, you know what? I'm going to actually dump everything into making sure I have the shadow prints, because I need the 6-star some units. I might go for the training data, because I need to roll more stuff on my my passives for my pets. So there might, and then I want to build that R unit. So this week I'm buying that micro lattice, right? So you might have to make different decisions in that week, depending on how much PvP you're actually doing. If you're doing enough of it, usually what I do is I'll buy out this, and then everything else goes into the things I need. But like this week, I'm like, bro, I gotta really like kind of turn up on my passive rolling on my pets. So I'm about to finesse whatever value I have right now that I can shift into more training data and more pet investment. That's what I'm doing, because that's right now the thing that's really going to help me with my progression and stat yield. So the lattice is nice. You want lattice, absolutely, but you have to basically what's the word? You have to kind of like weigh your options, right? What's going to be more beneficial to you. So same thing if I'm going through the union shop, like every single week, I think now we have a lot more currency, so we're able to clear out more of the shop. But before, we had to make like life decisions on the shop. It was like, do I go for the shadow print, or am I going to be trying to make sure I get this perfect lattice fragment, right? And it's like, but damn, I'm kind of early and I still need the 6-star units. So before I can even really worry about skilling them up, I got to make sure they're 6-starred. So it's like, if you want to expedite that, there were some people that literally were going for just red shadow prints. Yeah, now we can, because of the addition of the union content. So that actually helped a ton. That helped a ton, because yeah, but before that, it was like literally you had to pick. You was not getting everything. And then these all priced at 1,000. I was like, damn. Like, what do you do, right? So you had to make those decisions. But that was the early progression, right? Until that content got added. So now we can come in here and we can buy the stuff that we need. And you said arena prices are still brutal though. Yeah, arena is. That's why I said with arena, it really is like, you gotta kind of make a decision. Like, you can't, it might be like this week, I'm kind of like looking at that perfect lattice and it's like, yeah, it's nice, but like, man, I kind of got some other stuff that I want to do. So you might have a week. Is that 1 week going to kill you? No. Like it's something that you just have to make a conscious decision, right? But I will say, like, even for what it's worth, it's like it all ends up averaging out, and you're gonna get to where you want, right? So once you get those things built up, and then you're able to clear more stuff consistently, then when you're looking at your normalcy and you're in your normal grind, you're probably not going to ever be considering buying Etheria coin or training data from this in the earlier phases. You're probably just going to be only buying ever the perfect lattice or the evolution lattice and the orange shadow prints. You might not like, so it's like you go through phases on your account of investment. So you're going to be targeting certain things, and then you're going to eventually enter into a sense of normalcy on your account where you never even touch those things ever. Like, yeah, like that's the progression of games, especially as you're playing it longer. So I think that that's the thing. It's like there's certain decisions you'll make in the beginning that you would never make if you were at maybe even end game, like mid game to end game. But early game is like you have to build, like you got to get there. So I think that that's the thing that I'm looking at right now. It's like, bro, I gotta get these lattice, not lattice, these pets rolled. And that's something that is like really important. So this week, I'm identifying that this week is dedicated to shell farming. Any little bit of shell or training data that I can get, I'm getting it. Like if there's any reconfig chips anywhere that I can get from the event, whatever it is, I'm getting it, right? Like that's everything that I'm going for. So that's that. You said, by the way, Zox, Etheria Rally gives a lot of perfect lattice match. Yeah, it does. That's why I gotta push it, to be honest. He said in the future when we have enough lattice, the coins and training data are huge. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like, it's gonna probably swap on your account as well. The Ethereum coin and training data, I feel like those things are always going to have value in your account because it's technically currency outside of stamina, right? And until it's like almost kind of like with these types of games, it's almost not important unless they add some feature or function that makes it easier to obtain it. So like, that's kind of one of the things that we'll just have to kind of look forward to is like what other systems they'll add to maybe make it where you get more Etheria coin and stuff like that, or more training data. And it's going to be more systems they'll have to add over time. But yeah, they make a big difference. He says 5 million coin / week from just the shop. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a lot of potentially leveled gear. And if you're really wondering how some people was able to actually get certain roles, and really they were doing that. They were buying out Etheria coin. They were buying training data. Like they weren't just simply farming that, because there's only but so much extra stamina they could get. And that extra stamina wasn't guaranteeing, millions and millions and millions more. It was just basically making it to where they had a few more runs. It might have gave them an extra level or so, right? But even then, it's like they were using those shops so that they could roll their gear for substats. And that's why there's some people sitting at 12s and 15s on some pieces, because they were just sitting there rolling pieces. Like, that's it. It said, brother was trying to upgrade modules from the 2 times, and I was speed check speed geared. I noticed the moment you press upgrade, you already in negative. If you take it to +6 to check. If it's speed, you're already about 80 silver or 80k silver down. When you sell it, it's a 5k piece. That's crazy. It's so hard checking if gear is good or not. So I'm used to E7 raids, summers where you can roll up to +6 and sell. You basically break down. See, the thing is too is like for example, right? Trying to speed check in like week 2 is nuts. I'm gonna be honest. Like speed gear tuning is kind of like insane on mythic pieces is nuts. Like, in reality, a lot of people, when you look at a lot of their gear, even for a lot of their setups, there was like one specific unit that had mythic pieces on it. And it's just because of the cost. But when you look at a lot of their units, it'd be like outstanding mixed in with a couple of mythics, and then like a random epic piece with some people still having unique pieces. Like they were rolling lower and then pushing certain values higher that they needed. And it was primarily right side, right? And I think that that's one of the things I was looking at too. Not every piece of gear needs to be mythic. So these are kind of like some of the tricks of the trade, right? Like when you're looking at certain pieces, I would like, for example, if I'm farming and I'm thinking about pieces I want to take up, it's going to be right pieces first. Like if I'm looking at just the main stat, because right pieces have higher scaling on those main stats. So that's going to be really, really important for me to get more of that effect accuracy, more damage, more crit rate, more, more crit damage, more attack. The right side or the left side, I don't gotta go crazy. I don't really have to go crazy on that. And I would even argue on average, you're gonna have two pieces. Like look at my Messiah, for example, right? You're gonna have two pieces, for example, that you just don't give a damn about. Like unless I'm in that fight for mad long and I need to be a little bit bulkier, I'm never taking these pieces past 12. Like honestly, I even got some characters with them sitting at 9. Just for the sake of the set bonus. That's it. But these two pieces don't really, like for Messiah, I just care about him doing damage. That's it. I'm not trying to raise his HP. Like that, he doesn't get any scaling off of that. I'm not trying to raise his defense. He also is a character that gives himself invincibility. I don't care about none of that. And if I'm getting kills, there's that, right? But a lot of my units are like that, right? Like the left side are the pieces that I was kind of like, all right, well, I'm gonna keep these at the lower investment, lower tier pieces. And then on the right side, I'm emphasizing more of those mythic pieces because, yeah, I want that 60% effect accuracy. I kind of need it now that I'm branching over into Inferno. And so that's just kind of the consistency. Like, even, like, dude, I'm using this. Like, for example, this is my build for my whatchamacallit, what's her name? Why am I blanking on her name? What is your name, lady? Freya, golly. Freya. My Freya build, right? Gear, these pieces literally could be gained from Hell 2. Hell 1, Hell 2, right? But I'm using a unique piece. I'm using some outstanding pieces. And I'm using this Freya in my Inferno Doki Doki team, right? Just like she is. So it's also like some characters understanding like you don't have to go all the way on those characters, right? You just don't. But your DPS, for example, like I would even argue like typically the most invested character are going to be these two characters. It's going to be the character that you either have controlling your whole team or the unit that's doing DPS, right? Speed tuning on Mythic is wild at this point. It is, especially if you're trying to do all 6. You are about to be in a Etheria coin pit off of that one character, like, and not even just one character, off the first few pieces, right? So a lot of people were achieving those speeds because you got to remember some people weren't even farming crazy mythic pieces and they already had characters close to 200, close to 300 speed. It was because they were actually building up like speed in the way it works. You can get pieces like this that roll 3 substats and you can still roll into them and it's cheaper, right? To speed check that. So that's why I said I think like a big part of the issue the game has had is a lot of people just jumped up so fast. So they went from their closing cost on gear was this to now I've more than almost doubled my closing cost just to level up something. So it just kind of makes it like, it makes it a lot harder for players now. You said, I think I blew through 30 mil in 2 days. Yeah, that sounds about right. So I think they just need to communicate with the community more like during the CBTs and everything would not be such a fuss. I mean, I think it's that. And I think also more parameters. Now, I made this joke a long time ago, but there was a reason why, for all you guys that remember when we played E7, I always talk about this because I'd never seen a game do this, especially a gear grinding game, but they added parameters to gear. So they like did certain things so players couldn't make the mistake. So you couldn't take a epic piece. You couldn't take an epic piece any higher than like plus 12. Like it was impossible to level it any higher. So they did that because people were complaining about being able to level plus 15 and wasting resources on like trash pieces. So the devs, I don't know if it was them trolling or not, but they put a cap on gear pieces rarity. So like if it wasn't the highest rarity, you couldn't roll it up to a certain up into a certain drop quality, you couldn't roll it past plus 12. And if it was even lower, you could like it would cap you at like plus 6, plus like plus 9. Like it was the funniest thing to me. But I feel like they might need not necessarily something like that for gear, but I think that they need that for the dungeons. I think maybe like giving more of a cap window so players actually stay in that place a little bit longer kind of would help. But then it's like, I also get the counter argument to that is that some players don't want to be capped. They feel like if they have the prowess and the thought process to be able to climb, let me climb, right? So I get both spectrums, but I think that like the more casual player need more parameters, right? So like that's kind of the problem, is that there's always more casuals than there are the people that like to think outside of the box. So it's just one of those things where and this is how I am. Like, this is how I look at everything. I always try to look at both sides, because I get it. I get why you would want maybe to have some more parameters and certain things set in place, but I also see how that could limit those that really want to and have the capacity to do things much earlier if they want to. So it's like they already do have the caps, but I just think that, like, maybe even within the culture that's being developed in this game, I don't even think it's just going to be so much just the devs, but I also think it's, like I said, like, people weren't trying to hear it when I said, like, as a CC collectively, I was apologizing, but I also think that CCs, we played a big part in that, right? We also helped set expectations. And now the players are blaming the devs to rectify the expectations that were set by CCs, which, to be honest, I think that, again, yeah, they can't speak on those things to set the standard or the tone for it, but CCs also have to be more accountable too. Like, I mean, for what it's worth, if we go through the list, it's a lot of reason as to why players skipped a lot of stuff. It's a lot of the reason why there's certain expectations set. It's a lot of reason why people think that there's only certain characters that they can use to do stuff, because that's all they've been seeing certain people use. So that, like, and then they'll complain about certain things. So it's set the expectation. So I think that that's why, like, even for me, I always try to be more conscious about, okay, what do you have? How can we fix it? How can we work it? Like, what, like, you know, like, what point are you at in the game versus like, oh, you don't have that? Yeah, nah, you can't do that. You know? So I think like there's fault on both sides. And I just think that, like, as a whole, the part that we play, we have way more communication on a regular basis than the dev team does with the community. If we're being real, I like, for every one message that the devs might put out to the community, I probably have said 1,000 things in between, right? Like, from them putting out their one message to the next one. So like, even, yeah, oh yeah, the reset thing too. They were like, that was a whole nother thing. That, like, devs gave the reset, say, hey, we're just giving you guys what you want. CCs are the ones that set the expectation for who to reset, right? Like, that wasn't the devs' fault. But I do think that there needs to be communication, though, on their side. But I also think that, like, that's the other thing, is this, like, looking at it like full circle, and it's just like, all right, it ain't just them, right? You said better communication is a huge one, I feel. And say, yeah, we're perpetuating a lot of our own issues. And that's the part that I'm just trying to get people to acknowledge. Is like, hey, the devs are working obviously with what they're, like, seeing from different things, but a lot of it is also self-inflicted. You said reset should just be in the game all time. Like, why not? I think that what it should be, I don't think they necessarily have to have it in the game all times, because what that would also push is, also with the currency being as accessible for Hydra crystals, is people would just reset things all the time. And I think what's healthy for the game is for them to either do it in two ways. You have it where you can allow players to buy a reset ticket that resets maybe monthly or bi-weekly, or you have that reset event during the periods where you're making changes to things, because that, I think, is kind of to basically make it to where there's, like, that value in between, so you don't get stuck when meta shift completely. And I think that would actually be something that is, like, pretty helpful for this game. But yeah, most games don't have resets all the time. They don't. It would be nice, but I mean, to be real with you, I always say, like, for what it's worth, having it in those periods where they're making those massive changes, I think would probably be the best thing, just so that if something does shift, you can make that adjustment. And, like, say, like, a unit gets, like, nerfed to the ground, or something gets adjusted and it made the unit good, those would be good windows for you to be able to reset, and then maybe you can make other choices. I would say bi-weekly. I think if they did it, like, every 2 weeks or so, that wouldn't be bad, to be honest. But I don't see, like, they wouldn't run it all the time because they lose money in that case. Like most companies, not this early, would ever really do that. And that would be like, okay, like say for example, a new unit comes out, and then somewhere in the lines of that like 2-week period, let's say in the first week, people figure out something else and they're like, yeah, we ain't using that character. Reset them. It's like, like it's just like, nope, trash, right? And then if they go and they buff them, and then everybody reset them, and it's just like, it's always going to be a back and forth thing. But I always feel like it's having in those windows where you're able to, when more of the real changes are really happening, is always going to be really healthy. So do you think the day before the current limited banner is over, the devs will announce the incoming banner? So I want to know, should I see on the current or continue to save? I have no idea. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, this is released, so I don't know what they really have with the plan for. I mean, to be honest, they did announce. I think they would. I would think so, because they announced these stuff before Freya's banner went away. So they did announce Hoyan and Hoden before Freya's banner went away. So people, I think, had, what was it? Was it like a day or two to still pull her if they wanted? Yeah, they did announce it. So there was a window for it. But I don't think they would wait till the banner completely goes away to announce whatever is next. To be honest, I think they would announce it. That would just make sense to me. He said, I'm fine with the devs are doing minus saying nothing. Said maybe I'm spoiled from us literally having E7 devs shook when they messed up. But Zay, you know what though? You know how long it took to get them to be like that though? Like the amount of rage, blow up community situations that happen with Smilegate, man, is like, I don't even think I can count on my finger anymore. Like the amount of times that like the community has literally like blew up on Smilegate, bro, is like kind of nuts. And so even then, that was like super, like, I mean, like the communities kind of had to kind of damn near band together. Like you're talking about like KR, CN, Ian, like everybody had to be equally mad. And that was like one of the issues we ran into was like, I remember a lot of scenarios would happen and it was like 1 second we're mad at the devs and now KR is mad at Global because they feel like we're being babies or something. Like it'd be like mad random. I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? Like, aren't we supposed to be like equally trying to make something happen for the whole community? And now we literally fighting each other. And it would be like little stuff like that. I'm like, bro, I'm like, yo, what is going on right now? So like, yeah, Global and KR is always fighting, or at least was always fighting when I was around on E7. So it was like the devs would be one thing. It's like, all right, we got this issue, and now we're fighting. It's like always like that. You said true, like year 1 and 5 alone. And like, oh shit, things are bad. Yeah, no, it was. A lot of people quit. A lot of people probably are just now coming back, and some will probably never come back, right? It said Nikkei gives out reset items a few times a year and you can hoard them until a reset window appears. Oh, that's pretty sick though. Oh, they let you actually hold them, so they give them out as an item. He said it's crazy that the community has to band together and riot for devs to respond. I mean, to be real, like I were being honest, Smilegate was wilding. They definitely were wilding. Like they were doing stuff like everybody done summoned for this unit and then they like nerfed the unit. Like that was the whole Yan situation. Like everybody went and like summoned her because she was busted, but they basically had to address the fact that like, yo, okay, cool, we get it, this unit was overtuned, but like that wasn't like a content nerf. That was just a straight unit nerf. They was like, yeah, nah. And then it was really not trying to give people compensation for it. So like people was upset. Like they went and blasted money for the unit. Like it was completely different for that situation. And it wasn't like, oh, the unit was just like made kind of okay. No, they really tombstoned her. Like at that time, she got tombstoned. Like that was like, and I would even argue like some of the stuff like with the Shia thing, like those units are still usable. No, Hoyan got tombstoned. This is like straight up tombstone. So like that was like one of those things. Like she got straight up deleted. I was like, yo, like y'all really nerfed her and just made her just trash. Like it wasn't even like, oh, she's okay now. You just can't do the broken stuff in PvP. It was just, nope, she's bad. So, like, that was that. With all the characters and stuff we've had happen so far, none of the characters are like became just bad, right? Like, it would kind of been like with the stuff that happened with Aurora, and then Shadow Senia was just bad and everything now. You said, he's like, can you tell me is Kraken, Hoyan, and Ramoka are good? They're all respectively good. It just depends on what you're doing. Is I remember in year 2 of E7, there was a massive controversy with Sage Ba. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I remember that. Said the Silver Blade, Araminta, and Tenha was covering a press conference and translating for the English community. Yo, E7 had mad stuff happen, yo. But I think again, it's like when you get to those like you get to like Paradise or like the like you get to that like really good state. Like sometimes you kind of have like you forget about all the things that you just went through over the years that got you to that point, right? So yeah, I mean like with each gacha, man, like I've never played. I don't think I've played a perfect gacha, man. I just seriously haven't. I seriously have not played a perfect gacha. No, Hoyan is playable. She is. Yeah, but yeah, I've never played like a perfect gacha that just didn't have anything happen on them. Like it's always something, and if it's not right now, it's gonna happen later. Like it's gonna happen at some point. To be honest, is that I bet for selector suggestions. So I keep getting people off permanent. He said Rosa, Hellkid, Chloros, maybe Veronica. Wait, what do you have? Wait, okay, wait. Are those the only ones you're missing? Stoned? Is that the only ones you're missing? Or are you like missing like other stuff? He's like Hoyan's an in-game unit. She's like Rosa. Yeah, a lot of people are using her for Inferno right now for Terra Matan, but again, respectively, so that is in-game, right? So there is that. There is that. Yeah, what do you have, Stone? Because like I don't want to tell you something and you're like, I don't got that though. So I don't know what to do with Hoyan anymore. It's a pull for sexy waifu, but she feels underwhelming in PvE compared to her brother. Said my homie Ra, who holds me down in both PvE and PvP. I mean, like if we're being honest, like Hoyan needs TLC. Like to be real, I will say like in comparison to Hoden's out the box utility is just much higher than hers. It is really just all it really is. But her value, like again, we got people doing one-shot setups with the Ting and her on Terra Matan. You got to skill her up for the damage in her skill 3. Like that's a pretty big deal. I mean, there's gonna be PvP setups where you actually use her too. Like it's a lot of different builds too that are gonna start coming to the forefront. Like her with the Law of Silence, like more of a PvP push there. Like it's a lot of different things you got to kind of factor with that character. She's single target damage too, so it's just kind of like the utility of the character. She's a selfish character. She's literally there to do damage, right? So for a lot of people, if they can get their hands on like a Dating, it's just cheaper for them to actually build him up. Granted, you have to fully invest him, but the amount of evolution lattice you have to perfect lattice is just way higher. So that's kind of why that ends up being like that. But once people actually get her built up, she's gonna be used in a lot of stuff. People are gonna be doing their speed clears and making things much quicker with her, just because she's gonna be an extremely hard hitter. And I think even just multiplier wise, she has one of the highest multipliers in the game, period. The thing is though, is you have to understand her gimmick, and she needs to basically die. Cause and that's what I was telling you guys before. When we were using her to one shot in the beta, she wasn't ever at full HP. Like she was like dead, but she has a gimmick called Soul Ward, right? That keeps her alive. So Soul Ward is her passive. So when she's about to die, she applies that one turn of Soul Ward, so her death prevents her. But because it procs the death prevention, it allows her to amp her damage. And then you got to remember that she gets X amount of damage when she has a certain amount of HP lost, right? So for every 10%, you get a 10% damage boost off of how much HP you lose. So when you lose 100% almost of your HP, well, it's really like 99%. But when you lose that much, bro, that's like a 90% damage increase, right? So That's the thing. And I think it's always 99 specifically. And that's why it's 90%, because she can't go to a full 100 because that means she's dead. Soul Ward keeps you at 1%. So that's why it's not at 100%. Food for thought. So you get a 90% damage buff from that, right? So you add that to the 450%. Like, bro, that's nuts. Like she's clearing, you know, at that point. And so that's also considering that some of the builds that I've been seeing on her haven't even been fully stacked, like 3K attack with the proper amount of crit damage and crit rate. Like, I'm seeing people with like 2K. Like, they're not even going crazy. It's not even that high, which is the crazier part. But her multiplier can get so high, she can do a ton of damage. You said the revive to full HP she gives every time she kills someone, though, is insane. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. So people have been using count on her. Yeah, and then yeah, oh my god, yeah, her on count. I like I said, I just think is just one of the best stat filler pets in the game. You don't get the extra hits like you do on White Fang, but dog, those freaking that 1.2k extra is such a huge boost when you don't have the value built into the character, and it lasts for 2 turns. So if you're going for faster clears, it's gonna help you a lot. It said, do you think she's worth the pull? So I enjoy this dangerous, rewarding type of gameplay, but as a free to play, I'm unsure. To be real with you, I think if you have the stuff necessary to do it, it can be a character that's worth. But like just straight up pulling her, I wouldn't recommend it. To be honest, but I would say that like for what it's worth, even in comparison to like what I've seen, the thing with her is even for the one-shot strat and setup, her investment is not that high. So I'm not gonna lie, it can definitely be worth for if we're just looking at investment costs to get her to do that said thing, right? Just even if we're looking at lattice investment, she needs to have the damage multiplier. She doesn't need the cooldown. She doesn't need the cooldown at all, which is kind of the big thing with her. You said, I wonder, is that why they nerfed Victor? Nah, I don't think that's why. Because to be real with you, Hoyan was always the character that was able to one-shot. I've been talking about one-shot Hoyan since beta. I think even before she came out, I was telling people she can one-shot Terra Matan. The thing I wasn't sure about though, which I didn't have a chance to test it, was when they removed her defense ignore, would she still be able to do it? Because before, Hoyan actually had defense ignore built into her. But the gimmick and the way it procced was always make her die. You would buff her with characters like Biotin. So you would give her a crit damage up buff and an attack up buff. Have her built on momentum, a ton of defense breaks and damage amp stuff from that. And then she would one-shot. So she had before... she had the penetration before, but now I was like, I'm not sure, but apparently so, she can still do it. But like I was telling people, I was like, her numbers were also so high. I don't know how much she was actually over damaging by, which I was like pretty certain she was over damaging at that point too. Because the other thing is too, is the fleeting glance and how much of an attack increase you get from that too, man. Like that's like, it's really, really important. And then like, even like when you start looking at that too, when you have the fleeting glance up as well, bro, you go from what, 10% for one stack to now it's 40%? Bro, that's insane. You said, doesn't she have to be targeted first? Seems like too much RNG. Well, yeah, the thing is that the arm should be targeting the character with the lowest HP value. That's literally, I mean, she should be, you can make that happen. You can actually make that happen. And to be real with you, she should be dying anyway, because after the arm hits, then there's also Terra Matan that gets to go. Like if Terra Matan hits you, there's a high chance she's dead. And with that being the case, proc her skill 3, then she gets the damage amp from fleeting glance, and then also her HP is lower, so when she skill 3s again, she's ripping. The combination though is her paired up with the Ting, so You said what they did is not is they didn't upgrade the HP piece and have no HP gear on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't run any HP because the arm is supposed to target the character with the lowest HP. That's literally what it does. It's written into it. So you need to have your team survive the first attack from the boss, and she's guaranteed will die. Yeah, yeah. You said I ran her instead of a healer, and my whole team died, and she just kills someone, insta revives someone, gets to turn S3, kills someone, and revives another. Yeah, that's Hoyan. That's Hoyan. You know, he said it says it's a level 1 P strats. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's why it's like stuff like that. You have strats like that. You have strats like if you don't want to increase speed too much, you don't have to level a pet fully, but you still can get the effect of the pet. Like there's a lot of different things you can do to kind of manipulate like targeting or rotations and stuff like that. But again, theory crafting. I'm telling you, like the guys, those are just those people that do that stuff are just always going to be doing stuff, just because it might take some time and some tinkering. But if you can problem solve and identify what your issue is, you know what you'll be able to figure out what to adjust. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get at doing it. So like that's why even for me, like a lot of my tinkering, I just try to problem solve. I try to problem solve everything. So before I go and like directly just shift a unit and just like, oh, I need to use this unit, I try to figure out what I need with my team. Like, how can I get that team to work, especially if I want it to work. And I don't have the means to like really invest in building another character or something like that at that point. So although I put her in the same setup with a level a level 1 4-star, and the hand did an attacker. But do you have more HP on that unit though? Yo, because what is it? Is it are you using Biotin in that setup? You said, do beta players know the next character? No. So here's the thing. As far as like what was officially shown and what we have going on, Holden was one of the first characters that nobody actually knew about, right? Hoyan, technically, we didn't really know what was going to be her situation. We seen her before, we played her before, but like we've seen already, there were some adjustments that were made to her. So from here on out, everything is one of two things. It's either somebody leaked it, or again, like I said, there's nothing there, and really not even one or two things. Somebody leaked it from here on out, right? So at this point, and that's just kind of like a fair warning thing too. The devs are not playing when it comes to leaks, bro. Like, kid you not, they're not. They're just not. So that's why I think like even now, we don't have a test server, so we don't get to see anything ahead of time right now. Maybe later down the line they'll give us access to it again, but yeah, we don't have a test server right now. But yeah, leak content. I'm like just saying for my fellow CCs. Yeah, this space ain't but that big, and the devs, you might not think they see you, but they're watching you. I'm almost 100% certain that they are. You said they leak Yelly on the ad. What do you mean they're playing a lot? Well, no, that's not necessarily a leak when they also have shown the character in the okay, here's the difference between a leak, right? You showcasing your character in something, which was also shown in the preview video for Holden Hoyan, is one thing. But once you start talking about character breakdowns and you have character kits that were not officially shown yet, yeah, that's a leak. Like that's a leak. But Yelly was that's something that they've shown in, like, for example, we just seen her in the video for Holden and Hoyan. So that like again though, the leak would be showing her kit. So and nobody got that information unless you leaked it. Like, so you said I hope they don't give us one. So let us all theory craft. Yeah, that's what I mean. So that I'm just saying that though, because I already know, like, when people get leak happy, that starts becoming the way that they want to make their content. And right now, the climate is kind of hot when it comes to leak content anyway. I'm gonna be honest, like, people are getting absolute fried right now for it. So I typically stay away. I'm like, if you ever plan on trying to do anything official in the creator program or anything with the company, you just stay away from that stuff, to be real. And I don't think a lot of people actually know this, but like, like a lot of people get blacklisted and don't even know they're blacklisted. Like there's something called shadow blacklisting that happens. So they might not tell you to your face, but you'll never get on, like, you'll never get into anything. Because a lot of these companies are in the same building, in the same district even. And like, for example, like when I found out like XD Company is in the same building with Lilith Games. So for all my people that play what's it called? Play Dislight, XD and Lilith and XD Company and Lilith are in the same building. And the only reason why I know that is because Jack told me. Because I told him, I was like, yeah, I used to do some work with Lilith Games for Dislight. And he was like, wow. He was like, we're actually in the same building. They're a floor above us. You don't think they talk or go on lunches together? Like they look at all the same creators and stuff like that, you know? He said, Hoyo taking leakers out back. Yo, nah, Hoyo is wilding right now. They really are trying to force in people's lives right now. You said AFK Journey too? Yeah, AFK Journey as well. Yeah, that's still Lilith. He said, yep, the devs definitely talk about how you ruined their game. Bro, you don't, like, come on now. Let's be real. You, like, cause like, they're in the same building. I know they have lunches. They're in the same district. Like, Hoyoverse is over there. Like, everybody's near each other. So a lot of the times, they have lists that they just they like share amongst themselves that have these collective groups of people. This group is just people we blacklisted because they're gonna hurt your game. They share that information with each other. And the crazy thing is like the more I've like started to notice that and learn about those things, I was like, yo, that's kind of crazy. I never would have thought they were doing it, but yeah, they do that. You said you're gonna go look at leaks as we speak. No, dude, what you do in your pastime in the dark is fine, right? Nobody cares. Like if that's what you do, that's what you do. I can't control what you do. What I'm saying is like when people start putting it out there in the general public, it's like, hey man, if you catch heat for it, like ain't nothing you can do, to be honest. And a lot of the times the perspective I have is like, it's like people will see people getting away with something and then they think like, well, if everybody's getting away with it, I should do it. I could do it too. I never like to be the odd man out. I always feel like when like you'll think, oh, I'm gonna, and then you end up being the one that gets clapped. Like, so granted, I'm not interested in leaks anyway because I like enjoying and figuring out things for the first time. But I always think look at things in that perspective. Like, dude, like if I go and do something, I'm gonna be the odd man out. I'm gonna be the dude that gets clapped. I'm gonna be the example. So yeah, I try to not be the example. That's like basically it. I just don't want to be the example. And that's usually what it is. Like, I think a lot of the times people think they're not going to be the one, and bam, they the one. You the chosen one, you know? So that's it. I'm happy HSR suing the leakers. Good riddance. Man, they went crazy. I think it was like 500, which is a lot. You just got like you just got 500 lawsuits cooked up, bro. That's a lot. That's absolutely a lot. You said, imagine Live Games employees break into XD office to take pictures to leak. Yo, wait, Voodoo, why does that sound like an actual situation that happened? Like, yo, that sounds like something that actually happened, though. Because to be real with you, I almost wonder if, like, there's, like maybe they lock the doors or have, like, certain key coding, like, so you can't just go into a certain floor. He's like, yes, sir, you could be the one target, the one guy they target for leaking. He said, my mom always says, puss and dog don't have the same. Hey, that's true. That's true. Yo, I'm telling you, like, it's always like that. Like, when I was younger, I used to literally be like, I remember doing stuff, thinking my friends would do it. Like, oh, everybody's doing it. And as a kid, that's a childish mentality, I noticed. Like, when you use the excuse, well, everybody's doing it. That's what little kids do. Like, little kids think like that because everybody's doing it. Like, when you're an adult, you can't think like that. You said sometimes leaks are intentional. Yes, that is true. But why is that, though? It's because there's also been such a heavy influence of people leaking the intellectual property of companies before they even have a chance to remotely show a foot. They figure, well, we might as well leak our own stuff, right? So they do that sometimes. Sometimes there's some situations where there's somebody internally doing it that wasn't supposed to. There's so many different variations to the scenario, but yeah, companies have had to get a little bit smarter with leaking their own content before leakers could do it. And even in the way that they've had to do it, like I think WOA had to do it not too long ago where they were showcasing stuff before just to kill leakers. Nope, we're gonna showcase it ourselves. Like, because otherwise, it's like people are just going to keep doing it. You said they got more people over the weekend. Said dude was on Twitter crying about being sued for $750K in damages. Bro, like, hey, I make some decent money, dog, but I ain't making no $750K. If I got sued for $750K, I'm ruined. Like, period. Like, I'm period. And like, period, bro. I'm ruined. That's it. Listen, y'all, I'll be right at I'll be doing subathons trying to pay off my debt. I'm like, hey man, listen. Yo. He's like, I'm talking about said farm 3 Fury momentum shells from Shadow Flaming On. Oh, congrats on that. 3 Fury momentum. Those are pretty big ones. I need some more Fury momentum, to be honest. It's like HSR announcing Fate collab a full year ahead of its release. Yeah, because what were people gonna? Because here's the thing, like leaking hasn't stayed the same, right? Like when you think back to like, let's go back like a decade ago, right? Okay, we can go back 15 years, right? Let's go back like 10 to 15 years ago, right? Leaking has always existed, right? It's always existed. It's always been a thing, right? But the difference was if you wanted to see something like that, you had to literally go out of your way to find it. And I mean like damn near almost dark web. Like it was like you had to find a specific site that had it. Like you wasn't just like finding leaks on your Twitter page, right? Like it wasn't just in your face being advertised because the post is popular, right? So the thing is that like when you really think about it, for what it's worth, the leaks now, it got out of hand because it's not just so much of like, hey, let's look at this character's kit or this character's animations. We'll start there. Let's look at this character's animations. This is so cool. Wow, that's cool. Can't wait to pull for that. Bruh, they are leaking story. They're like, we're leaking story. We're going to leak the next year of content. Like, they're like, yo, we're not even going to leak like with this one thing in the next update. We about to leak the next year of content. Oh yeah, that collab leaked. We giving you the storyline. Let's ruin the story. Let's go ahead and leak that too. Like, they show everything now. And then what makes it worse is how social media is set up. So if you get on Twitter and let it be day one of a leak being out, yo, your entire existence is ruined. You have to literally disassociate yourself with the platform because otherwise you are going to have the leak ruin it for you. You're gonna see it. It's almost impossible to see it. So you have to literally, and you'll hear the common thing said, dude, I had to literally get off of Twitter today, or I had to get off of Reddit, or I had to get, because I'm just not trying to see that right now. Like, you're gonna see it, and it's gonna be pushed to you by somebody you don't even follow, which is the crazier thing. So, like, it won't even be somebody you follow. It's literally some random dude. And you're like, God damn it. Like, I was trying. Like, and it's not just games, but it's TV shows, it's movies, it's like, it's everything now. So you don't even have like the ability now to enjoy your social media and then not be ruined by it. Yeah, YouTube algo is actually going to push it, not because it's a leak, but because it has a lot of views on it. So YouTube is going to push it by default. And then if it just so happens to be leaked content, then bam, there you go. That's ruined. Like, so it's not just leaks in gaming, it's leaks in everything, man. And now it's everything, like everything. You said link shell leaks in MRC leak chat room. Oh my God, dude. I forgot about those. Yeah, that's like, yo, that's funny. That's mad long ago, yo. You said, yeah, the problem with leaks is being so prevalent is that people who don't look for that content is still seeing it. Yeah, and that's where the issue is. Like, I think, and that's why I brought up like how like before it was like you had to look for that. Now it's in your face, and so I think with that, it's made people think that, hey, leaked content is okay. They're like, oh, it has to be okay because it's everywhere. And that's not how it works. Like, it is still intellectual property that is owned by a conglomerate, and you can be just the guy that they choose to be like, hey, you over there sharing our stuff. Oh yeah, you're out. And and really smaller, like not smaller people, but like the average person, they're not really gonna chase, right? But don't let you have a platform. Don't let you have like a like, because then they're gonna come for you. They're 1,000% gonna come for you if they get the chance. The thing that I don't think a lot of people realize though, and this is just how it works when it comes down to suing someone, companies aren't necessarily going to sue you off of one thing, because now there could be arguments made like, man, I didn't even know that was a leak. You know, I like, there's so many different things that can be made as an excuse to kind of counteract it. But let's say you've leaked 50 times and now they've collected a case against you. That's a little bit different because now we're seeing all these people catch these lawsuits now, but that's because they built cases. Like, I don't think people actually realize that they were building cases. That's why they were letting it run rampant. All they were doing, somebody that advises them said, you know, let them build it up. Let them keep doing it, because then when we do hit them, we can hit them for the maximum. Oh, it ain't like, you know, we might hit them with a little slap on the wrist this time, and they might just get away with it because they can argue, oh, I didn't know, and all that other stuff, right? But if we catch a repeat offender, yeah, GG, we sending you to the pit, to the hole. That's where you're going, buddy. So that's what it is. They built cases. And that's why there's 500 of them and more that came out, because they were building cases against people. And that's how it works usually. Even just just regular law enforcement, they like, if you're like, say, a drug lord or somebody committing crimes, sometimes if they're investigating you, they'll let you do stuff. Unless it's like specifically harming someone, they might intervene then. But they'll let you keep building stuff against you. Like, hey, we caught you on Tuesday doing this. We caught you on Thursday doing this. And we seen you on Friday doing this on the corner, right? Like, they're gonna build a case against you. Like, they're gonna let you do it. So, like, and that's so they can do whatever it is at the maximum. That's all they want. It's like, now you can't even really fight it because we caught you 70 times. It's over for you. Like, so that's why I always say, hey, don't even dip your baby toe in, right? Because you just don't know. He said they expect the characters to be exact like the leak, so when the devs make changes, everyone gets mad. Oh yeah, that does happen too. I forgot about that. Yeah. They and actually that's a direct result of leaks. Sometimes a character, they'll test the character out, or somebody will rip stuff and they'll test it, and the character, like, oh, most busted character, everybody has to summon, and then when the character comes out, it's like 1/3 of the power. Be like, I'm like, yo, it's y'all fault, yo. Y'all should have just left it alone. They would have released it like that. It's you guys' fault. Like, now we get 1/3 of the OP-ness from the character. So yeah, that happens. That definitely does happen. You said, yo, what's good, Cat? How you doing, bro? You said convenience stores, if you steal, they let you steal to a certain amount when they press charges too. Yeah, that's I forgot what the amount is, but sometimes they'll let you steal enough to where it becomes a federal crime. That's really what it is. Cause yo, it's messed up how they be trying to get you. They're not trying to hit you with nothing petty. They're trying to send you to federal. They're like, oh no, you're going to federal prison, buddy. Like, people being sued right now, that's like, those quantities are federal. Those aren't like, that's not like, oh, you getting locked up for a night. Like, that's federal. Like, they're trying to send you somewhere. So, and it ain't gonna be community service that helps you either. So yeah, that's what I be looking at stuff like that, man. I be dead looking at stuff like that all the time. I'm like, hey, listen, it's nice now, but he said, did you hit level 72? Pots. Stamina refill pots, man. That's it. He said, being a part of the Genshin beta test program, I remember people leaking stuff from the test and they got deleted by Hoyo. Yo, Victory. It's funny you say that because the homie Scion, he was a part of a lot of that stuff too, man. And like the testing and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, like, people that are actually a part of it talk about that. It's like, yo, people do get deleted, but a lot of people don't think about it. They don't, or not even that they don't think about it. They don't think it's gonna be them. But those people that are part of those tests and stuff, they be trying. Yo, I'm telling you, there's people like in those rooms that be trying to help people and trying to prevent people from doing it, and they don't stop. And then when they get clapped, it's like, you know, what do you like? What did you expect was gonna happen? You kept doing it. And it's like with anything, eventually they're gonna figure out who did it, right? You said I'm sad I got super busy and couldn't farm. Oh, okay, yeah, bro. Yeah, that was all from the 2x event, bro. Guys, what are your average levels right now if you've been playing since launch? Are you close to like? No, I actually, dude, I think I'm actually pretty low in level. Like compared to like the rest of my union, I think everybody is like mad high over me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think everybody is like low key higher than me right now. Yeah, 70, like, bro, highest person in my union is 76, dog. Like, yo, that's literally what, 5K, 5K, 4K more experience than me. Like, yeah, bro, I thought I was going crazy. Like, some people pushing 80 right now. I'm at the beginning. Said 71. You said I'm just under 75. Yeah, bro. Yo, I don't know what I missed. I don't know what I missed because it's like I'm like always like relatively like 3 to 4 levels behind everybody. I don't know what I missed. Like I thought it was like maybe the first week of stuff, but I don't know. I've been refreshing the whole time, and I don't think overcapping would have had me back by like 5,000 XP either. So I don't think it's that. Oh, you know what it was? It was the first event. That's what it was for some people. That first event was like, it was low-key a cheese to it that a lot of people did not pick up on, including myself. That first event was like kind of nasty, not gonna lie. It was literally a shop that would like, every time you would land on it, it was like a pretty high chance you could get stamina pots from it. And I forgot about that one. You said where you could buy the stem pills from the NPC. Yeah, it was between that one. That one was like, that one gave a ton to some people because they were using the auto roll dice so that they could try to aim for landing on it like over and over and over again every time it popped up. You said that too. The first event I got robbed. Yeah, I didn't get it like much at all. My die roll was terrible. You said, yeah, I made sure I landed on that every time, bro. Yeah, I game was doing me dirty. You said you're at 44. Oh, okay. So 40. Okay, so that's not too bad though. But that, I mean, to be honest, you haven't been like super sweating, have you, Risa? I mean, like, to be honest, those of us that have been super sweating, like we're at like the 70s something. Like, and I mean, even just the amount of stamina, like that was like all from one sitting. Like, I think I went from 60 something to 72. I know the 2 times I dropped, I had 50 pots, I think. And I dropped 40. No, I dropped, I think 37 of them. I think it was 37 of them because I was 13 left. So yeah, I dropped like 37 of them. And then I spent that day so that was another 1,000. Yeah, I jumped up a lot of levels too. I gotta look at my videos to see what my last level was. Probably before the 2 times. I know I was at like the early 60s, so like probably like 64 or something like that. 60, 63, 64. It says a little harder to land on the store though. Yeah, for this event, yeah. This one is like you gotta like kind of be talking to people and they gotta give you stuff for you to be able to get it. He said, no, I haven't. I was only super sweating during 2 times event, and I didn't level up much because my module runs would be like 2-3 minutes per run. Oh, no, that's fair. I mean, to be honest, though, like, that's the thing. Like, if I could make the conscious decision to not have sweated as much, I would have. Like, I was talking to Cyan about that. I was talking to a few people about that. Like, how we kind of sort of tried to super sweat and still didn't finish, like, farming. Like, that was a lot of stamina we were trying to spend. Like, I kid you not. Like, within 2 days, that's a lot of stamina. There's a lot of stamina. So you said I still have 23 pots left over from the event. Yeah, bro. A lot of us didn't get to. Like I said, I had 13 left. I wasn't. I fell asleep farming. What's up, babe? Eat what? You made something? Oh, okay. Yeah. Were you able to get the hair stuff that you needed? Yeah. Okay. Lonzo, yo, you gotta say hi to Lonzo. Lonzo's hi, like, Lonzo. You know Lonzo loves you, right? He says, "Screams, Miss Z." Yo, Lonzo always makes it known. Like I could be like, I'm talking. See, Lonzo don't be knowing. Yeah, Lonzo. Yo, no, Lonzo be snitching. He be like, "Look what Zox doing." I be like, "Yo, leave, like, aren't you supposed to be the bro? Like, what's going on?" Like he be tattletelling. You said work on Saturday, so I didn't really have time to farm, and I had so much stamps Sunday. I didn't even go through any pots. Yeah, yo, listen, I feel you on that. Kragon said, "Hey." Hey, Kragon. Yeah, I feel you on that, dude. Like I said, like my grind. I think also like maybe the next times too will be better for all of us. I think part of the issue like a lot of us were having too wasn't just that we were farming, but some of us were also trying to go up to the next difficulty. So like you were trying to tweak your teams, and then that took however long. So like that was definitely something that took up mad of my time too, because yeah, that I think that was something that kind of got me. No, give me a minute. You said most people teams are also slow. Yeah, that is true. Dude, so when I looked at the Vice team that a lot of people are using for Aurora, isn't that team like 7 minutes? I was like, oh damn, like I don't know why I thought it was gonna be faster. I mean, you do get the clear, because that's the thing that still matters. But like if anybody was trying to do that during the 2 times, like dog. Like this is like mad long. Like I'm like, yo, that's kind of long, bro. But hey, you got your clear, right? So I was just like kind of thinking about that though. I was like, damn, like that does take up a lot of time, because like if you're thinking about it, any dungeon that somebody's farming where they're clearing it anywhere from like say like 40 to 40 seconds to a minute, like anywhere around there, they're getting like, I don't know how many more runs in per, like to your 1 run, they're getting in like an extra 6 to 7 almost. So that's like, yeah, that's crazy. Like that's actually a lot of time when you really think about it. So I got my Tia clears down to about 5.5 minutes. I'm gonna be honest, like in most games early, 4 to 5 minutes is actually pretty normal. A lot of people don't like it, but it is very normal. And then progressively as time, goes, you make your team clears faster. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like it's like, especially if you're going for like that bulky sustain and it's just like consistent, it's usually around the 4 to 5 minute mark. That's normal. So it's just like, I think everybody thinks everything, I don't know if I guess a lot of things that kind of like promote that thought process, from zero cycling to everything just needing to be faster because of retention and stuff like that. But in reality, most things are like at the start, usually around that mark, 3, 4, 5 minutes long. Yo, what's good, Dan? How you doing, fam? It's all the way from your dances to wifey got to your luck pools. Hope you're good, man. Stay well. Hope your mental is okay. Yo, Dan, I appreciate that, fam. I hope you're doing well as well. And yeah, I mean, I still be dancing. I just dance on my TikTok now. I don't really upload anything on YouTube anymore. And yeah, I'm getting back into training for that now. I'm probably gonna start battling and doing stuff like that again. So I'll probably stream that stuff for those that are interested in that realm. It's really fun. It's a little bit toxic. There's some people that have egos, but yeah, it's fun. Dance battling is fun, man. Especially like, yo, dance battling would be fun. It do be fun. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'll probably stream that on like Twitch or something when I actually start going to battles and like doing tournaments and stuff like that again. It said the 2 times event wasn't supposed to be this early, to be honest. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, I have no idea on the next one, bro, to be honest, because they kind of made like the terminology like mad specific, where it was like exclusive. Like, so we don't know if we're getting that again or how soon. Um, so we'll see. I mean, we're hoping and we're trying to push for that to be a little bit more consistent because it did feel nice to have. But we don't know like what they're going to agree upon or decide to do. Hey, what's up, Straya? How you doing, fam? So I farmed GP chips until I had 2K blue stacks and all of them. And then you farmed XP on auto and did some modules on manual. Nah, that's fair. I mean, like, for example, like I went, not a crazy amount, but I did farm some extra XP. So I got enough to like level up another character or so if I want to. I think I can level up 2 more characters to 50 if I really want to, maybe 3. But yeah, I farmed up some excess, so I just had it. And yeah, that's that. That's that. So I just downloaded the game. You said, who do I reroll for? Oh my God. I haven't been asked this question in some time. Honestly, just play. I'm gonna be honest with you. The thing is that the way, like, what I would definitely suggest to do is to try to play out your account and see what you get. You have a selection banner. You said the guy with the big sword looks cool. Yeah, Messiah is really fun. He is. 2 things though. You gotta just keep in mind, I don't know if you're gonna plan on spending or if you're going to play free to play. But just if you need to, join my Discord, join the official Discord. Make sure you ask before you like fully decide to invest into a character based off of where you might be, what the investment requirement is. Okay. I guess that's probably the advice I'll start giving from now on, because some characters, you know, like in the very beginning, you're going to be pulling on your account. You're going to be fleshing out your units, but you're not necessarily going to be building everything right away. Yeah, you said reroll for a bond character. Get out of here. But the main thing is that you have something called the hyperlink charter. This is going to be your best friend, right? There's a character that you get for free named Leon. A big part of that initial push in the beginning of the game is to invest and build her up some. So whatever it tells you to do for her, make sure you do that first. From there, after you finish that, you can decide what you want to do, resetting, etc. Right? But as far as characters and like your spread, you're going to be targeting first when you're summoning is going to be a permanent summon banner. Okay. Reason why you're going permanent summon banner is because permanent summon banner gives you a ton of stuff. Now, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Did they set it to where when your account first start out, is it still Freya's banner for that first week, or is it on the limited banners for Hoden and Hoyan? Because I feel like somebody said that they started a fresh account and they had Freya's banner up, and I was like, what? I was like, I don't remember that. I don't remember reading that nowhere. But I know some people just started. Yeah, so when you start the account, it's Freya in the beginning, right? Okay, please, if you do anything, please pull her. Oh my God! Like hey, I know these banners. You got 2 days, dog. Pull Freya, because I kid you not, she is literally she is literally a security character, because you do not know what you can get, but there's a lot of things that you can work on. There's a lot of characters you can work on. Who's Freya? Hold on, let me show you. This is Freya. She has her own banner too. When you're in the game, you get to the banner, she got her own banner. This is Freya. Please pull this lady. Please. Please, okay? Because, like, honestly, after you do like a few hundred standard pulls, if you don't get her, target her banner, okay? Pull her banner, please. Because this unit has some of the lowest investment, some of the highest value when it comes to RGB out of the box, okay? A lot of people that either don't have her, Frey, or her class. You said I caught someone's biggest mistake video I wish I knew in the first point was skipping Freya. Bro, Freya is such a good unit, dude. The thing is that also re-rolling for Lily. I mean, hey, if that's something you choose to do, absolutely go for it. If that's what you want to do, that's your time that allots it, go for it. But to be honest, you can re-roll Lily and then roll absolute garbage for the remainder of your account, which has happened to a lot of people. So that's why I don't really tend to recommend re-rolling necessarily, because re-rolling doesn't guarantee the rest of your account's going to flesh out at all. There's still people that have yet to pull a Dating or a Chloros or the Rosa that they were looking for, or, you know, like a lot of different things. But there are some things that you can guarantee that can help you make solid team comps that are still going to clear things at base. I'm going to be real with you. For a lot of people that are looking to do some of these comps, if you go in there with picking certain units, it's also the expectation you're trying to build faster. That is also RNG. Things that you can guarantee more than not is building sustained slow teams. Those are way easier to build than trying to build a faster team, because that's relying upon you actually having the RNG to roll fast. So people that's running around with plus 163s, you guys' opinion don't count. So I'm gonna be honest, because a lot of people ain't gonna have that. Now, if you get lucky, then there's that, right? But if you don't, which more than likely, most people aren't gonna have optimal speeds for, you know, some of these fast rotations that people are talking about. They're like, just get Lily. And then they're running like a 163 on them or something crazy, or a 166. Like, I'm just like, bro, no. Like that means that you on average have about what, plus 12s and 15s on your rolls. Like we got to be realistic about that. That's why I also rolled or built my team comp for the fact that I lack speed, because it's just like, well, that's an uphill battle if I'm banking on rolling speed. But I will say, Lily is still she is a great unit, but you have to also factor in what builds and team comps you're going to build her into. Having the units to make her work or for her to really amplify is important. But these are units that are, no matter what, are going to be safe units on your account. Freya is huge, okay? If you get her, GG. Another unit that would be really nice is if you're going along in your summons and you get this unit, really nice to have, if you can get her early, is going to be Klaus. Klaus, another unit that people are crying about not having. So I'm gonna be honest, that's the thing. Like, really nice unit to have from the RGBs. Now, if you do get, okay, I'm gonna be honest, if you do get anyone from LD, right? There's a couple. Do not, because you might go back and try watching some old stuff. Do not, okay? Do not re-roll. Do not reset them. You'll probably use them. Okay, it's gonna be Shadow Sania. All right, don't delete her. Shadow Sania. Okay. If you do get characters like Mio is very good. She is good, but I will say, when you get to the in-game part of your process, if you want her to be good at that point, she's gonna need to be built up, and she's gonna also need to be extremely fast. Other than that, I have her and I still don't build this character, okay? Because I just can't build it fast like I want to for her to be able to control the team comp for one of the main dungeons, which is Doki Doki, right? So she's good, but if you want her to do the high-end stuff, she needs to be built, okay? And very fast. Now, Messiah, good character. I know you were saying you like Messiah. The thing with Messiah, though, Messiah needs to be invested in. In the beginning, I think minimum he needs skill 3 for him to really be, you know, able to operate for you. And as you go up, if you want him to do more content and be slotted in generally, he needs to be paired up with like a Lily, or he also needs to be fully invested. So skill 2, skill 1 are like massive. And then he also needs to be built on like Revelation as well. That's the thing. So that's where that value kind of lies. He has good, or I would say great overall value, but as you progressively go deeper into the game, the investment gets higher. So you're gonna have to invest into him. What's his name? Lily. If you're building a Lily, the only thing you really have to be concerned with is her skill 1 if you're gonna build her up. So if you do get this character, just note that that's the case with her. But you're gonna have to tune her. It's like any team, right? So the more that you use a certain unit, you got to tune them according to what they need to do, etc. You got to just tune her, right? But yeah, that's really all you need for her is her skill 1, and then the respective damage for whatever setup you're doing with her, right? And there's a ton of different setups and combinations with this character. Heinrich is pretty good. He's probably one of the best overall dispellers in the game. He's able to damage amp, so you can increase crit damage, increase crit rate. He can block buffs as well. This character, a lot of people like, oh, I'm building DPS Heinrich. That's more of a PvP thing than it is PvE. In PvE, he's just more true to being a stripper. Oh my God. Somebody's gonna be like, we're talking about strippers again. He's more of a stripper, buff stripper, right? But he also can damage amp at the same time, right? He could be generally used in a lot of scenarios, but in some cases, there's going to be better alternatives like, say, Viper, for example. Viper is very, very good for consistent strips and just works off of counters. And that's like if you're doing game modes like Aurora, for example, which technically Heinrich can be used in there. But again, you're going to be free to play, so you're not going to be building up everybody. But I just kind of want you to know some of the value since you're coming in, right? Like, dude, a lot of people want him to be like this pure like DPS. He can do some damage, but he's not gonna be out damaging the raw like DPS like the Datings or the Messiahs or he's yeah, we gotta clarify buff stripper. Yeah, we can't go we can't keep saying stripper because then they're talking about all strippers. Yeah, we can't talk about them. Now, Doki Doki, a lot of people were saying she's trash, but now I would probably argue when you're looking at like a lot of those safe, sustain team comps, Doki Doki is one of the options for debuff removal. A big part of her kit is that she can help you with your rotations, and she can also cool down. She also can purify debuffs, and she also... He said the stream is dangerous to watch at home, says Zox casually saying strippers. My bad. Yeah, Doki Doki is like super easy to build. She's, again, not one of those characters. She just needs like rotation, like for speed. Usually, though, you have to be just kind of conscious of the rotation. The biggest thing with her is knowing who needs to go before her. Because then she will boost that character back into the formation so that they can rotate again. There's a lot of different ways that you can kind of approach using her. But yeah, Doki Doki is very, very good in some scenarios. Maybe not as crazy in the very beginning, but later on when things get real oppressive and you got a whole bunch of debuffs coming in at you and you're like maybe lacking speed and trying to like upkeep your team with rotations and stuff like that, Doki Doki's value shoots up a ton, right? And that's kind of normal. It happens in some games. Character's value might not be like beginner progression worthy, but then later down the line, they end up becoming super busted. So yeah, those are like the current LDs that we have. They all have some sort of value within the game or can be generally slotted in a lot of things, but it just all depends. So if you have any questions when it comes to that, don't be afraid to ask us. Like I said, make sure you join the Discord because there's like little nuances that are more specific to team comp setups versus, you know, oh, I just have this one unit, I just clear everything, because that's not necessarily the case, right? So the other thing is too, if you're going to be free to play, get very comfortable with building your SRs. There's a lot of SRs that are good in this game, okay? As you're doing pulls, just kind of keep a mental note of like what you're getting and ask like, hey, like what is this character good for? You get characters like Gray for free. You have a selector box that'll give you Casio the Revere, and you can pick between Casio the Revere, Yang, and Turandot. And those units are all respectively good for something, right? It just kind of all depends on what you don't get. So don't use that box right away because I know you're going to have it in the beginning. After you clear like one of the earlier chapters in story, don't use it, right? Save it until you do a few hundred pulls, like I mentioned before, see what SRs you get. And then when you're looking at like, okay, what do I need to help fill out or build up my teams more? Go for the thing that you're missing, right? I would say Casio the Revere specifically for the most part is going to be for your Doki Doki team. Yang has universal usage. I use mine in my Doki Doki team, but I'm also going to use him in my Aurora team. And these are obviously the difficulty dungeons or the module dungeons or gear dungeons. And then Turandot is actually not a bad unit to take into things like Terra Matan and stuff like that. It's kind of like, again, though, based off of what you might have and what you might decide to do. Turandot has pushback. She has, I think, attack up, defense up. Two buffs that are just like kind of underrated. Like it's like a lot of people just don't use her, but she can still be used for some stuff. Now I would say SRs to look out for. Dinah is very big, I feel like, for a lot of accounts. If you can get your hands on Chiaki, she's actually really nice to have. Fangus is pretty good if you end up being able to build into Dot. You have Oval, Kraken, those are really, really good. Viper's very good as well. Gray you get for free. Chiaki the Echo is nice as well. Depending on your setup for like things like Doki Doki or even your Terramatan. Oh God, I forgot about her. Yeah, Valerian is probably, yeah, she's up there. I forgot. We're not even looking at the light darks. So two of the top LDs, I would say probably three, right? It's gonna be Valerian, it's gonna be Dating, and I'll say later on it's gonna be Kachi the Guard, right? Kachi the Guard even early can still work. I actually was, what a lot of you didn't even know, I was actually using on my other account Kachi the Guard. So that's basically, I was using him in a lot of my setups. And once you start dealing with more debuffs and stuff like that, Kachi the Guard goes freaking nuts. But, yo, Alex, appreciate you for the super chat, fam. He said, please tell me the best way to get materials to rank up. I mean, what material are you trying to get? Because are you talking about like ranking up like star rarity? Because the best way would be like really events, the shop, so arena shop. You have the what's it called? You have the Animus shop from when you summon. The battle pass gives you some stuff on the free side as well. You have the Union shop gives you shadow prints. That's another place that you can get them from. All the events that are currently up. EXP. I don't know, like, are you just starting, Alex? Because you just missed the 2x event. Hopefully they run it again because I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Phantom Boss has shadow prints daily. Dude, the XP dungeon or the investigation dungeon was huge. Like you could farm, like people like were kind of like crapping on those blue shadow prints, but yo, those blue shadow prints add up. Like they add up. So yeah, you say on level 13, my account is new as that. Okay, cool. So yeah, those are some of the areas you will have to progressively unlock them. So like for example, you're not gonna have a lot of the shops fully unlocked. Like say for example your Union, unless you joined like, I don't know, a super stacked Union where it's level 10 off rip or something. You're not gonna have all this accessible to you, but you can see in here, you can get shadow prints all the way down, right? So a red one, gold ones, purple ones, like they're very, very, very valuable. This resets weekly. You can get them from the arena shop, right? There's some in here that you can buy. You have the summon shop, so your summon currency. You're gonna have a perfect lattice in here, and you're also gonna have a red shadow print. Yeah, I mean these are some of the shops at least. But yeah, at 13, I agree with Raph. The hyperlink charter is your best friend. Even now, like I still get, like as I'm doing missions on here, I still get EXP. I still get shadow prints. I'm getting Hydra crystals. I just got to do it, right? Like, but you get so much stuff to help build up your account just from here alone. I think even at the beginning, this is the main source. Really, you're not actually farming any of the dungeons even, right? You don't really start doing that until like what, 35 or like almost 40. Really, when you really start like for real farming, like it's going to be a little bit of levels before you really start farming. Most of it comes from here. And even then, like I said, that 2x event was like pretty massive for getting more shadow prints. Like it actually dropped a ton. You saw I made a 6-star from blue shadow prints, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like it was nuts. It was nuts. I was like, bro, it's actually pretty insane. So I was like, all right, yo, like I'm like next if we ever get another 2x event, I'm like, bro, I'm definitely gonna put some pots to farming the farming the XP investigation, man, because I think that that's the value. Like each dungeon has its own thing. So like there you can get summons. And what I also didn't realize too, which I forgot, if you get a summon to drop, it's always ×2. So like if a Animus ticket drops, it gives you another Animus ticket because it doubles. It like it's not that it's just a double drop, it mirror drops is basically what it does. So you get more than one summon at that point. So you get summons, you get XP, you get Etheria coin, and you also are getting shadow prints, right? So that's the thing, bro. Like you can get mad summons from like, yo, I'm gonna be real. You said I got so many pulls, so I got like an extra 100. Yeah, Durimo just said he got an extra 80, which if I'm being honest, that's possible because it can drop a lot. You said how did you get summons? You can get summons technically from XP farm. He said, what I didn't see from XP Dungeon are gold Shadow Prince. Yo, Voodoo, that's what I was asking about. I think somebody mixed up gold Shadow Prince with gold books. Because I was like, yo, that's not even in there. That's what I was asking. I was like, when they add that? Because if it was gold Shadow Prince in there, bro, that would be so busted. He said, I have enough summons for the next limited. Yeah, I do too. I actually got some. I got a good chunk from my XP farm. And yeah, bro, like that's the value. That's why I think like, you know, even like the XP yield, it's like, bro, like it's the value's there. It's just a 2 times made you see more of the value. So it's like, then you go to the shell dungeon. It's silver or Etheria coin, training data, shells, and then extra shells to sell. Then you have the GP outpost, which is Etheria coin, and then the skill up map. You said, yo, it was too. I think like that's what I tried to clarify too. I was like, are you sure? Like, I'm like, is it gold Shadow Prince? He was like, yep. Yo, Darius, they coming for you. Kels remembered your name and everything, yo. Because I really didn't say it. I was like, you sure? I was like, you had to have mixed up gold books, bro. Because I was like, there's no way. I was like, I didn't see any of them. You said I made 15 5 stars from the 2 times event, so I didn't know if it's stupid or genius. No, that's fine. Like a lot of us have, we either like some of us made more 6, like a couple more 6 stars, or we fleshed out our 5 stars and took up characters to 45. Like you got to remember how many characters are viable at 45 at 5 star. So the next thing for you is like from there you kind of nitpick on who you want to take to 6 star, because those are going to be the characters that are going to do X thing, maybe the damage dealer you need or the speed on the support that you really need. Yeah, I mean like that's perfectly fine. You did not make a mistake doing that. You said if they change the percentage of getting red shells and Inferno higher, that would be a nice change. Oh yeah, I'm not against that, because a lot of it is also too like RNG of the rolls. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all, to be honest. So basically saying on 178 basic summons and 38 LD summons, that's good. The crazy thing is like the chances that you have to also pull things from standard banner that are LD, and then having the isolated LD banner is still nice too. Is I made more 5 stars because I need them for Guild War. Yo, that's actually facts. I didn't think about that. That is true. So now, yeah, that's actually, actually, you're right. People really did need to just do more 5 stars in general, just because, yeah, they needed more things for Guild War. Like, yeah, like I think this first Guild War, like if it wasn't for the fact that we had like those weak teams, we would have had like, I don't know if I would have had enough. Probably would have had enough, but it wouldn't have been like that crazy. But now I can actually make multiple teams comfortably. And they're somewhat geared to even. Like I have gear for mostly everybody. That's why this week I'm dedicating it to shells, because I want to roll passives and I want to build up a couple more shells for some of my characters, and I'll be good. You said Guild War going to be crazy this week. Oh yeah, we got what, a day? Is there a day left? Let me see. Gotta collect this. Look at that. All right, boom. Let's see. We got, I think it's a day. Oh, 15 hours. So yeah, starts in 15 hours. So that should be fun. Because I made units for Etheria Rally. Yo, that's smart too. I mean, I feel like it's like you needed them. It's kind of like the almost universally you needed them. Like, so for me, I was thinking about that too. So I made up some blue units because I had like none. I really honestly tried to make up more units in general. Blue was like the attribute I was suffering in the most though. You said, yeah, I had to go wide. So I have some more offense options and better defense comps. Says ZOXFAM, I got some spice I'm working on today. Oh yeah, guys. I think we have one more spot. So if you guys want to join the Zox Crusaders, we have one spot open. You can join in the Discord. So it's gonna be first come, first serve. I don't know who's gonna be the one. I'm not gonna pick though. So if you want to join, just go into the Discord. We did have a spot open up. I completely forgot about that, but we also do have other unions. So if you're not able to get into the Zox Crusader, we do have other unions that are fully fledged and operational as well. So yeah, you said wait, you said minimum 200 spent on the game. Wait, is that what you spent? You said, how did you beat Hongyang Anasing? I did. I said, I don't get how to beat it. Nothing works. I didn't do it yet. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I gotta probably do it in the next day or two. I think, because I think were you talking about in the Anasync? Yeah, I haven't gotten to her yet. Yeah, I just haven't. I like literally haven't done it. So like me mid talking, what is it called? Wait, you said. Yeah, me talking. I was supposed to build up my stripper, so I was gonna use my Viper to go through this, and then I was gonna go do the Rahu. Yeah, I just gotta push it. I just haven't done it yet, dude. Yeah, dude. When I say like when I say that this dungeon, this one dungeon had taken up at least 8 hours of my day. Like, let alone the 2x event. I was doing the 2x event, and then I was doubling down on like farming other dungeons at the same time. But this right here took like 8 hours of my day. Between today and yesterday, I was just sitting here trying to tweak my Doki Doki team. Yeah. You said, there you go, talking about strippers again, my bad. You said, does the Anasync event reset? I thought it was like Perma Abyss. I don't think it resets. I think they might add to it. The Ember track resets though. So I haven't seen anything about this resetting, but the Ember track does. So that's our monthly tower mode. And I think with this, what they're gonna have every single month is there's gonna be a new effect and like a new debuff that you go up against, and then you reclimb it. It's probably gonna be different enemies as you go up, different layouts and stuff like that. And probably just the same thing with the supply hub. I just gotta finish mine too. I gotta finish both of those because they only got a couple of days. I think this has like a week left on it, and Ethernet Rally has a whatchamacallit, has 2 days on it, so I gotta do that too. You start hoping for a Kloss banner next. Dude, Kloss banner would be pretty insane. Not gonna lie. I think they might consider it. I think like what would actually be pretty healthy for the game too. Even if they don't do, which I think actually this is something I would like to see because it actually worked fairly well in Dislight, was having like a giving players the option, right? So like they would rate up a unit that already existed in the game, and I mean E7 does this too. Rate up a unit that exists in the game already, and then have a limited rate up for whatever new unit is out. So you can do like easily units, like go through the list of like units top used in X dungeon, right? And like say they start out with the Doki, right? Kloss is going to be one of those units, and having her have a rate up next to a new unit, players could basically decide if they want to go for the new unit or maybe pick up that other unit. I feel like, again, though, that's going to be a matter of like, and again, free to play. You're going to just have to wait, seeing what the value is of the character for the new. Usually the unit that's already on banner that's in the game, more than likely there'll already be content out on the unit on whether or not it's valuable. So really you'll just be waiting for seeing if the new unit has any value. It's that, to be honest, I'd be shocked if they do a Kloss and either a Lily Sania, but who knows, man. I mean, it's possible. I mean, that also could be something they consider. But like, to be real with you, anytime there's an LD banner that comes up, that is 1,000% going to be either a banner you save for with tickets, or it's just straight up pay to win banner, like period. Because if we're being real, like 1,000% real, should you as a free-to-play be going 3K a multi? Probably, like, no. Like, if you got the multi saved up ticket form, sure. But if you're going your crystals, that's a little rough. I'm be honest. Like, that's a little rough. Like, I mean, again, if you're close to your pity, maybe you can throw it. But, like, dog, like, yeah, 3K a multi is kind of rough. Is there any news on upcoming banner characters? No, there's no news on it. So even if they do give us those banner, people will still struggle. Yeah, that's true. You say it's like E7, you would say for pity, or is good luck. Yeah, no, for real. It's like Claw's banner would be nice, but I'm low-key more excited about which SRs are in that banner. I feel like, yeah, that is true, because each banner does have a probability increase for specific SRs. And what you kind of find to be funny here, Holden's banner has Chiaki the Echo, Viper, and Kazumi Kazuyo. And then when you look at what's her name, Hoyan's banner, I think she got a different lineup. So they kind of changed the value per banner. I think her banner was, I'm trying to think. I think it might have been the same, but we'll see in a second after this weird glitch thing stops. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, there you go. Nope. She did get different ones. She got Gray, Rin the Unbound, and Chiaki. So they gave different value each banner. So it was like, okay, you got the isolated, but then the rate up. And those are like so some people that probably went Hoyan was able to probably max out their Gray. And people that are using Gray are still using, there's some people that are still using Gray in their, what's it called? Their Doki Doki team. So it's like even the Chiaki, you can use her in Aurora. Rin, I've seen some people using her in some places. It said Holden was just a better banner. Oh yeah, Holden's banner, I think, like I said, it's just Holden himself. So Chiaki the Echo is also pretty massive, which is kind of funny they did that, because they almost kind of told you like what banner kind of holds a certain value. Because remember how the very first banner for Freya didn't have Chiaki the Echo in the rotation anymore? It's because they swapped it to the Holden banner. Yeah, they swapped it to this banner because in the beta, Chiaki the Echo was on rate up on Freya's banner, and then they swapped it to Sania, and then this banner comes out, and then Chiaki the Echo was on rate up, and I was like, I see what you did there, right? So that was kind of funny to me. I was like, okay. You said I hope people with Lillian Kloss in general chat asking me for it. Oh, you have people with Lillian Kloss in general chat asking me for advice, bro? Because Maverick, the thing is that like if you have units, that doesn't mean you know how to use them, right? I mean, again, I think like it's kind of the same argument I was making with like Mio and like other characters. It's like, okay, you can have those characters, but you got to also have certain builds, certain gear, and a certain setup. Right, so it's not just the Lily, but do you have this other character that makes that team comp work for this, right? It's a lot of different things, and so some players' accounts might suit more of a slower comp than others might suit more of a speed comp. But even with the speed comp, there's different tinkering and tweaks that you got to do for that, depending on whether or not you got the speed or not. It said, as a free to play, how do I choose the pull on a banner? So I only ever pull for 4 stars when I play Final Fantasy Brave Exodus. Well, Jay, I mean, to be real with you, when you're trying to decide on what banner to pull, I think number one I always say is what you feel like you're going to enjoy, right? So I think that's always an important thing, because that's what games are about. Now, if you're trying to be efficient, I would say it's going to always be based around what you need and also investment costs. And I would really say that's something you would have to decide whether or not you're willing to put that level of investment in a character. But it needs to be something that allows you to clear something, right? Like it has to give you value to your account. So like for me, pulling Holden opened up my Terramatan team. It helped me with my Aurora team. There was a lot of things that he did that I liked. The pushback. There was a lot of value that I felt like I was getting from this character. So that was the thing. Outside of that, then I also liked the character. I like how he looks. So I was like, okay, cool. I like this character. But even like the out the box investment, I technically didn't really have to put anything in him to get him to work. So that's what you kind of have to look at. We'll look at the content that you're clearing and versus what you're not clearing, and picking up something that can maybe boost that area in your account, maybe give you multi-utility. So I was looking at this character, not just what I could do with him in PvE, but I was also thinking about what I would be able to do with him in the future for PvP. So I know that I can use this character in PvP now with the earlier build that I'm using on it. And then later on, when I want to do more of a bruiser build, I can also build into that if I want to. So that's something that I was kind of looking at. Now, I will also say too, you want to be very like cautious when summoning as well because of this reasoning too. you don't want to just summon for things and then they get benched and you don't build them either, right? Because I think that that's another thing that a lot of free-to-play are going to run into, banner to banner to banner, with the cycle and the rotation, is that like you're just going to be collecting more projects, but like you got to finish the ones that you're working on. So I think like that's kind of one of the things I like kind of consider too. Like if I wasn't in the position to actually build these characters, do I need to pull them or should I pull them now? So that's always something to think about. If you know that after you finish a certain project, you're going to move on to that next character and that's kind of locked in, go for it. But if you know like, this character's probably just going to sit here. So, you know, that like that's just, it's just something that like I just always kind of consider too, is like not taking on too many projects, because that's one of the things I think that makes a lot of players quit games like E7, or at least made a lot of people quit games like E7, was like you had so many units, but no way to build them. Like it was like, I have 50 billion units, but you couldn't build all of them. So you just have all these units and then you get overwhelmed because you got all these units on your account and you're just looking at all these units on your account. And then it's just like, oh man, I got to build that. And then you start half building stuff because you get impatient and then stuff isn't working well for your runs. And like, you know, like it's so many things that kind of, you said Mulligore hell. Yeah, literally. So that's that, right? That's my advice with that. You said, when do we find out about the next banner? I'm not sure. I'm assuming probably tonight, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, they seem to have presented things within a window, like within a day window. I mean, they've also received feedback, so I don't know if they're going to be dropping more stuff right now or if they're going to wait a little bit. I have no idea. We might, I know they announced the new event that's coming into the game, which a lot of people probably missed that. There's actually a brand new event coming in the game called something Cage. Yeah, nobody knows what that is because nobody's played it yet. So that should be fun. So yeah, there is a brand new event that is coming into the game. They announced it though. But I don't know if anybody knows what it is. You said reading her skill ups, it doesn't look much impactful to my eyes. Maybe I'm wrong. Wait, you talking about Rosa or are you talking about Hoyan? Is I need to build another 2 gigas and Codex only shell for the next week or two. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm focusing on this week, just shell farming. He said that 450 is impact. Oh yeah, 400. Like, okay, so to be real, like Hoden can hit really hard, but the thing is like it just depends on how you're building him. Yeah, Hoden can hit hard with a 450% multiplier. Like it's actually like kind of respectable, but it's just a matter of if you build into it and you got him critting. Like that's kind of the thing. And in reality, like most early builds are not really emphasizing that as much. So talking about Hoyan, Hoyan's, so it's not just her modifier you're looking at. You got to also consider what her gimmick does, right? So Hoyan's value skyrockets because her skill 3. Her skill 3 is increasing the multiplier, right? Which, if we're being honest, that's one of the highest multipliers in the game. Also including her like her death damage scaling that she has. Where the heck is mine? Oh, she's up here. Her death damage dealing mechanic, it makes her have one of the highest damage ceilings in the game, or damage modifiers. So you got to consider, okay, you can get 450% from here, but for every 10% self or every 10% of HP loss, it increases her damage when it's skilled up by 10%. So if you drop her HP, like so in a lot of the content that you're doing, you want her to get hit. So you force her to be the target to get hit. That's another 90% more damage that you're getting. So that extra 90% though, is something that you're, again, it's a team setup. You're forcing the arm to target her. You're trying to make her die so she can get that extra scaling. That shoots her through the roof. Because the other thing that comes into play, and like for those that even want to go the extra mile and invest in her skill 2, that's going to increase her fleeting glance. Which remember, what is it? So when Hoyan defeats an enemy target, she revives dead. Allies based on the defeat targets reduce HP and prevents the defeated target from being revived. Each time the passive effect is fully triggered after casting Execution Right or by reviving an ally. So every time she procs this, when this is skilled up, Fleeting Glance gives her an attack boost of 40%. right? So that's where like her value comes in, right? So I think again, like with this character, you have to consider like how far you're willing to go into building her. So like I think like early entry, you really only need to do up to level 4, right? If you want to make her work. But this is also considering you're going to pair her with a Ting, right? That's that. But like for you to really see the crazy like amounts of value out of her, you want that passive raise too, because that 40% is going to at least trigger one time, and that's an additional 40% attack that you're going to be getting. So it just depends on what you realistically can do. He said 60 plus build. He said too much for me because I'm building Rosa and I got Rosa 155. Yeah, I mean, yeah, unless you're spending, it's like it's gonna be kind of rough trying to keep up with like SSR lattice out the box on everything. Like it's just gonna take time. Yeah, it's gonna take mad time, bro. But yeah, man. So I got a lot of projects to still build, but it is what it is. We're gonna get it done eventually. We'll get it done eventually. But all right, guys, I'm about to actually head out. I have some more tinkering to do. I actually got to go make a channel for somebody. So yeah, what are we gonna do? I think tomorrow we'll be back streaming. Yeah, we got one more day in between, I think, before Persona launches. So unless like the new event drops like that day, we'll probably play the new event if it does drop around that day. And then we're going straight into Persona, man. Persona 5X. And then we also have Silver and Blood. So yeah, we got some games, man. We got some games to be gaming. Yeah, I think it's Thursday. Yeah, I think it's Thursday. It's the 26th. So yeah, it's the 26th. It's the 26th. So we got a couple more days. And yeah, we'll be gaming. And so what character are you hoping to pull in Persona? I mean, listen, it's all, like, if we're being real, I'm kind of a Joker spaz. I'm just saying, like, if I can get Joker, is there anybody else I really care about? Not really. You know, okay, so here's kind of the funny thing about me. I like a lot of the characters, but I actually have, because I like Shin Megami Tensei, Shin Megami Tensei actually focus a little bit more on the monsters, in the sense of like the character is like a thing, but the monster is really the thing, right? Like Persona, I think like respectively so, like the characters are kind of the thing you really like, but like I just want Joker, and I just want to get my hands on like an Alice, or because usually every game I played, Shin Megami Tensei or Persona, and you got Alice, oh, you doing some things. Like Alice is always broke. It's always the lolly. Why is the lollies always broken? Is it just like is that just a thing? Like, yo, Alice is bad busted. But I also play D times 2 Shin Megami Tensei, and like Alice, probably one of my favorite characters to just content clear with. Not even because the character's looks, but Alice is just always broken and stuff. You say you can get Alice around level 60. Bro, I got it. Like, oh my God. Dude, Alice, is it Megatron? And, or Metatron? And, who else do I want? I want a, what is his name? Mikasa? Makasu, I think it is. No, what is his freaking name? Oh my God. I can't think of his name. There's like mad forms of him though. Yeah, I can't think of his name because I'm pretty sure I've seen Odin. There's a couple others that I've seen too. I be wanting the monsters, bro. Like that's the thing. Like I be wanting the monsters, bro. So that like I said though, as far as the characters go, Joker. If I get Joker, I'm literally like content. He said meta is in game. Said I don't even have him on CN. Oh really? He said I got to get Ann and Joker. Damn. Yeah, I'm hyped, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be going crazy on it. I'm gonna be going crazy on it. Like I kind of have a way I want to approach the content too, so I think it's gonna be fun. But all right, guys, we're gonna be dipping. Appreciate you guys. You guys stay safe out there. You guys have an amazing day. Yeah, that's gonna be that. Stay blessed. I'll catch you guys later. All right, guys. Peace.